Good evening and good morning, and welcome to our Fridays. The world's gone insane. Let's talk. And in our Friday show, it's an open forum. Anyone could join us. Just post a topic in the comment section. I have a list of talking points already, but even if for future shows, if you're just seeing this out of curiosity and you want to know that every Friday we can always go back to a topic that I've already covered that you might have missed, and we can talk about it again. There's no time limits. It's just whatever goes. And my pleasure, as always, to be joined by Mankind, who got launched off a ladder earlier by
Yeah,
the Invisible Man, and he survived to
yeah.
tell the tale. It was quite a harrowing fall, a whopping 20 centimeters, was it? Something like that.
So luckily for my being a man in his mid 40s, I didn't fall too badly. But just so people get the gist of what we're talking about, I'm having a loft conversion done, sort of like loft bordering done. And I decided to have the first day was today. I decided to have a quick peek to see what sort of work my guy's been doing. And whilst climbing the ladder, I kind of bent the ladder with my gigantic weight, and I fell on my ass and hurt my shoulder and my ass a little bit. Luckily, not my back, which was probably the worst part of the body to hurt.
Yeah.
You
If you
know,
landed on your
so
spine, then you know.
because honestly, the moment I fell and it was all done, I thought, wow, this could have been a lot worse. That was my first thought. Immediately, first thought. No, there's no grazes, there's no cuts. I think I might have to. The way my right bum cheek is feeling, I think there might be some bruising on there. I would love to ask you. I would love to show off my right bum cheek right now and show it to you guys. But
Demonetized.
then we'll get demonetized for sure.
Save it for your only
Hello,
V
hello,
Man.
V man.
Hello. I
So
How you
love
doing?
loving the casual kind of splaying there. Very Romanesque.
I don't even have any pants on right now, guys. So you're getting me in my
Lovely.
full glory.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We wouldn't
I'll,
have it any other way. We wouldn't have it any other way.
I was just telling Ginger Greek that I fell off a ladder about an hour ago.
You all right, man?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I was just but being as old as I am now, I can't. Luckily I came out pretty much unscathed. Just my ass, my right ass cheek hurts. My left shoulder was hurting. It's not so bad. A little bit, maybe something on my right leg a little bit, but definitely I walked away from this pretty much unscathed. But my God, like I can't be doing that again. It could have turned out a lot worse. I felt like I was in fucking Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? And I had one of
Uh,
those bumps in Money in the Bank. So
The third, the third Hardy boy, huh?
you came down
oh
with the
yeah, for
briefcase, and
sure.
your dad kicked your ass and stole the briefcase. He's like champion.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
it,
seeing
yeah.
as I've got you both here, our first topic is a rather lovely one. I just kind of find it ironic how things have ended up. But we're going to talk about Dwayne Ladiva Johnson and have been exposed as a bit of a diva. I say a bit of a diva. I'm sure you both kind of heard about the fallout with Shazam 2. For those in the audience that may not be aware too, what is it? The sequel to Be Aware, may not be aware is that Shazam 2 is a massive flop, and there's also quite a lot of behind the scenes drama involving Dwayne Johnson. And so the story goes that number one is Dwayne vetoed the idea of Black Adam appearing in the original Shazam as the villain. He then vetoed Shazam showing up in the Black Adam film. He then vetoed the Justice Society showing up in the Shazam 2 film. And the man basically didn't want anything to do with Shazam at all, which is, I mean, stupid
It
doesn't
makes
even cover it,
yeah
given, he's only
illogical.
the main fucking antagonist of Shazam. It'll be like Magneto showing up in the Avengers and not the X-Men. That kind of level of stupidity. And he kind of bullied and muscled his way to take over the DC universe with the whole the what was it, the hierarchy of the DC universe is changing, and he tried to get Cavill back and all this kind of stuff. And in the end, Black Adam failed, and now Shazam 2's failed, and of course, Gunn stepped in and derailed everything, and Dwayne Johnson has basically come out of this way worse than originally expected, because rather than just having another film that's not done well, he's been exposed as just an arsehole, basically. There's no short way of saying it. So, Mr. V-Man, your thoughts on everything that transpired?
Fuck The Rock, man. Like the thing about it is like I have a lot of friends that are fans of The Rock, and I'm a fan of The Rock as a character on WWE. But I think as soon as the guy went to Hollywood, I mean, you called it straight when you were like, the guy's an asshole. The thing about it is I like the fact that they brought Henry Cavill back for that little bit of a cameo, but the Rock has the tendency to make everything about him.
Yep.
There's no doubt that the guy is charismatic. But overall, like, his movies aren't really that good, and he always plays the same fucking character, which is him. And I mean, I got about halfway through Black Adam, and I was like, good God, this is a piece of shit movie. So I fucking shut it off. And the thing is, like, I watched it on I watched it on HBO Max, so it was free. So I mean, and so it's pretty bad when you're watching a movie for free.
Shut it off. Love it.
Yeah, and I couldn't fucking sit through it because I'm like, this is this is just a piece of crap movie. And I wondered, why are we taking the main villain for Shazam and putting him up against Superman? And that's all you fucking saw on social media. Oh my God, it's gonna be Shazam versus Superman. Oh my God, this is great. And I'm like, who the fuck is asking for that? Because if it wasn't for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, nobody would even think of that as a pair up. Your analogy to putting Magneto against the Avengers and not the X-Men is completely accurate.
Yeah.
So when you hear talk of how he vetoed everything with Shazam 2, would it have made Shazam 2 a better movie? Probably not. Would it have made a lot more money with, him in that movie? Again, probably not. I enjoyed the first Shazam. It's one of my favorite DC movies just because it was fun, whereas the rest of the other DC movies, most of them, made me want to stop taking my heart medication. So when you inject a little bit of fun into a movie, it makes me want to go see the sequel. I enjoyed the second one just fine. It had its issues, but again, when you compare it to the rest of the DC films, I can live with them. So not having The Rock in there, whatever. But when you sit there and you hear that there are nothing but veto from The Rock, it's like, dude, you're kind of a dick, because that's the main villain. And again, seeing that he wanted to go up against Superman, that is nothing but an ego boost for Rock. And knowing that he wanted to restructure everything around Black Adam and make him a powerhouse, that's not how the DC should have been. So I think it stems from not only The Rock's ego, but lack of common sense from DC in general. So, I don't know whether it's, karma for Warner Brothers or, karma for The Rock, but good riddance to both of them, because they need to get their shit together.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go to you, Zam, I'm just going to read some of the comments. I don't want people to feel left out.
Tomorrow has been suspended for 30 days following his first violation on Nerdtube wellness policy. Yeah, my ass is killing me. I don't mean the asshole, just the cheeks. I'm on my way home and I'm going to get a quick bite to eat. Fair enough.
Yeah, jump on whenever.
Black Adam was supposed to be the villain of Shazam 2. That was a tease at the end of the first movie. Was it? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
It's the first time seeing V-Man and Ginger. Yay! I know.
It is. The powerhouses have joined together in Ginger.
Yes. It's like Luke Harper and Braun Strowman and fucking what's his name. Anyway, I look forward to seeing Black Adam versus Shazam in the sequel at the end of the first Shazam, but that wasn't going to happen when Black Adam came out the way it did.
Yeah.
He has thoughts on Black Adam and Superman. Shazam
Well, when you
2
come
was,
when sorry, God, Shazam 2 wasn't terrible, but
wasn't
felt
terrible,
like the
but it
most
felt like
generic.
it's
Yeah.
a superhero movie.
I mean, look, I haven't seen Shazam
Did it
2 yet.
right,
I'm in
yeah.
no rush to see it. The first one is the first time where you enjoy everything else but the superhero parts of it. The kids were great in the first one. I really enjoyed the kids. I thought the chemistry they had was great. They just got some nice actors in there, and that part I liked. Everything else was just generic, superhero stuff, and that. But yeah, it wasn't the worst DC film I've seen. So sorry, Zam or Cheeto, as you're called in this for some reason.
Oh yes, I am
Username
called
up there.
Cheeto for some reason.
Yes.
Anyway,
Your
I'll
thoughts,
change that in a
sorry.
second. But in the meantime, like not having Shazam going up against Black Adam is like not having Batman going up against Joker. Now we've had that multiple times, but we haven't had Shazam versus Black Adam in live action yet. So that needs to happen. Lex Luger versus Superman, that needs to happen. Hal Jordan versus Sinestro, that needs to fucking happen. I mean, these are the things you look forward to in live action, and we didn't get it. And for some reason, we're never going to get it. And for some reason, The Rock's ego didn't want that to happen. Did he look down upon Zachary Levi for some reason? I don't know, but maybe he didn't want to fucking do the job to Zachary Levi. I mean, being the villain.
Of course, he doesn't want to look like a bitch.
There's quite a few people, like, because I posted a couple of posts about being pissed off about this, and I feel like every fanboy who is pissed off about this has a right to be, and the people who are kind of coming to The Rock's defense very vocally about it. Like, first off, Rock don't need you to come to his defense. The guy has how much millions of dollars? He don't need you to fucking come to his defense. So fuck off.
$500 million, I think.
But the people who say that it's only coming from one source, it's and look at the source. Okay, first off, if the actor is saying some hostility toward what happened, and the director's walking away, and is kind of saying the same shit, like, there's got to be some validity to it. And the fact of if they're not putting at least a cameo when the movies are coming so close together, again, use some fucking common sense. Why would you not do something on that level? And I'm sorry, but that after credits with the putting them in the Justice Society and whatnot, like, what? None of that makes any fucking sense on any level. For why not have some type of friction between those two characters, like something, especially if you're trying to build up and have the whole DCEU revolve around Shazam or Black Adam. Why not have him appear? Like, again, all of that has to do with ego. So for those people that are saying, it's from one uncredible source, fuck off with that. You're just trying to justify your sticking up for The Rock.
Well, when Levi himself reposts the stuff that was said, and he says the truth shall set you free, then what just sometimes, in fact, a lot of the times when enough rumors circulate and you can see it in the film itself. Okay, because originally we saw the film was advertised to be set in the past, like World War II era or just before World War II era, around then. And then they changed it and they brought it to modern times, and that just derailed the film completely. It's just like, it was going to be so bloody generic that there's just no point in watching it, and they they ballsed it up. The only good thing I enjoyed was I forget his bloody name now. It was Pierce Brosnan as
Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate. Thank you. Yes, as Dr. Fate. I really enjoyed that, and Hawkman was okay for a kind of mid-tier like film. But other than that, it's just fuck me, and having the kids involved in it, it's just like, ugh.
Well, the thing that sucked about that movie was
everything.
Yeah, I mean, yes, son.
Hello, and doggy.
Here, let me see it, buddy.
Is it broken? Did the dog eat it?
Let me just shut it off real quick, and we'll restart it. It'll be real quick, buddy. Not a big deal.
No problem. There is no rush.
Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Hello, Royce.
Yeah, see, there we go. Went away right there. Let me just pan this up.
You were eating out the bin just now, weren't you? Stop
What
eating
was
out
he
the
eating
bin.
out of the bin? You see the birdie?
Yeah, birdie.
For some reason, I kind of look at the thing, but it won't let me.
That's okay. Let's see. We got those screens open
Right.
there. Okay,
Oh,
now
let's
play
see
the
if there's
game. See if
anything
it
in the
works.
comments. By the way, Shredder, it's great to see you in the comments. If you want to pop in at all at any time and chat, feel free. It's an open
Please do.
forum. Anyone can join and jump in and jump out anytime they want. Talk anything. If you want to
There's no
take
boss
the
man
wrestling
here.
stuff, because I've got nothing on wrestling,
work?
even though there was like
You're welcome.
CM
Love you,
Punk
buddy.
stuff. But
Okay,
yeah,
sorry about that, guys.
no, that's no problem, mate. No problem at all. Okay, so I think is there anything else to add for the DC stuff?
I think.
Well,
I
just
think
regarding... Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Anything. Go on, Sam.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I've just
Regarding
lost
Shazam,
my voice, which I've
Shazam Fury of the Gods,
No problem.
it was always going to flop, because considering we're rebooting the universe, I think people had a massive lack of interest anyway. So regardless of whether The Rock was going to be in it or not, and obviously there was another cameo in there of significance, but nevertheless, who cares really? I mean, whether the film's good or not. I mean, I'll watch it when it comes on TV. Who really cares right now? The universe is restarting soon.
Yeah.
Well, they had a thing, and I didn't really notice it, but I guess others did. Like, I guess the costumes had changed. Like, it now, I guess now appears to be more like the material that like Superman has or Aquaman had. Like, I guess it's that type of material as opposed to like how it was in the first one. Again, I didn't really notice it all that much. I guess more of the nitpickers did. I didn't. But it was supposed to be, because this movie was supposed to take place after the Flash and after like the timeline changed and everything. And again, this is before everything had gotten restructured. But because everything's kind of redone, it's not. So that kind of threw everything off, and people got confused and whatnot. And it's one of those things where nothing really makes sense, and I feel like that's kind of symbolic of hey, son.
Yeah, it's symbolic of the whole universe. Yeah, absolutely. I think Zachary
Well,
Blaine seems short.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, here we go with the fucking contrarian popping in. He's not blaming. He's not blaming Levy he's not blaming Dwayne for the film flopping, is he? He's just acknowledging. The only thing I've seen, as far as I know, is that he acknowledges of Dwayne's interference.
Yeah, well, even the people behind the film have stated that it was kind of that aspect of you're kind of interfering. Like, every time they wanted to do something, it was like, nope, can't use that character, can't use this aspect, can't use that story, can't do this. They want to do this, nope, can't do that, got to do this. So it's kind of like, well, we're not going to fight, the main villain, the big buff guy. We're going to fight 3 women. And it's like, oh man, that's yeah, let's do that.
Progress.
Yeah, like, oh man, I don't want to fight this big beefy guy. I'm gonna go punch an old woman in the face. That's the story I want to tell you. It's one of those things where I don't think he's necessarily blaming The Rock, but at the same time, hey, credit where credit's due, both good and bad. Like, you kind of helped sink a ship. So it's not necessarily it's not necessarily the shit Sunday, but it's the cherry on top. Hey, son.
Yeah.
No,
well, I mean, you're not wrong there. You just kind of help speed things up, for things to go under, and I mean, it just shows you how like just useless the producers were in Warner Brothers. I mean, I always have this thing against producers. I just find them that they're just glorified accountants that got their job through pure nepotism and no fucking talent whatsoever. And you can always tell the difference between the ones that genuinely have the talent and are made producers to the ones that just, it's whose back you scratch.
Yeah,
The
but it
create
wasn't. Sorry, just to respond. It wasn't though. That's the thing. If the thing is, if the film was good and people liked it, would they blame The Rock? No, but that's the thing. It wasn't. You know, so they are blaming The Rock because he
Yeah,
wanted it his way, and then by not combining the universes to a degree and just snipping Cavill at the end, and when you really, honestly, really, it should be Shazam first, then Cavill second, in my opinion. You know, he just did things the wrong way around. He really did. For a
Shredder,
female villain,
Lady Blaze with that outfit. Good lord,
you know
that
the
would have
thing
been
about it
nice.
is the thing about it is like if Rock had done everything he could to make sure the film was a success, we'd be giving credit where credit's due. Hey, you went out to help out the film, just like we do for Henry Cavill. He went out to go help Black Adam. Now,
Yeah.
Black Adam sucked balls. I don't give a fuck if you liked it or not. Hey, if you liked it, great, good for you. But from my opinion, the film sucked. I still give credit where credit's due. Hey, Henry Cavill went out, helped. He did his part. He did the stand-up thing. Now, granted, it came with a paycheck. So, whatever reason, you did a great job. You helped the film. That's what you do when you're trying to help everybody. Did Rock do that for Shazam? Fuck no, he didn't. He didn't do that in any capacity. He didn't do that for Black Adam for the film to bring Shazam in. He didn't do that for Shazam to do that. So again, credit where credit's due. You didn't lift a fucking finger to help that franchise. All you did was say, "Hey, what can I do to be on top for this franchise, for the DCU?" So I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, look, we've known even from like the wrestling days, The Rock's always been about The Rock, and he doesn't care who he steps on to get to the top. No matter what he says about respect and all this kind of stuff, he's always been like, just laser focused about himself, which is fine. I mean, he's not destroyed things or anything like that on his rise to the top, but he did help destroy the DC universe because he's peaked. And now a bunch of shit comes out about him, taking like, which I don't, by the way, on record, I don't give a shit if you do steroids. I don't care if you do, HGH and all this kind of stuff. Just don't lie that you don't do it. So there's all this kind of speculation line on that. And so there's just all this crap. It's just come out about him. And now he's probably going to be box office poison. But I don't get why Daughters of Athena versus as villains, there are other worse threats to Shazam. Well, again, just put it down to bad decision making and bad producing by Warner Brothers. What else is there to say? Like their track record is abhorrent.
Yeah,
crap.
Well, I mean, when you go to Marvel, now granted, not every Marvel movie has been good. I mean, we've had some disappointments.
We'll talk about Marvel in a second as well, but we'll transition to there actually. Perfect segue. Go for it.
That's with any franchise is bound to have their bombs. That's especially when you have 20 some films, and several TV series. Is like you can't knock it out of the park every time. You can't be the Babe Ruth where you're pointing and then knock it out of the park. But with DC, like they have more misses than hits, and that's not just a flavor of the month. That's just generally your movies are more misses, and that's talking about tone, that's talking about getting the character right, that's talking about just, I mean, and that's when you get the casting good. I mean, Henry Cavill was at least I feel was a generally well cast Superman, but I feel like everything they wrote for him was shit. I great cast, terrible films.
But this was it. Like, I mean, okay, Gal Gadot's not the best actress, but she had a great look for Wonder Woman. And Ben Affleck, I was on board the Ben Affleck train when he got cast because the guy's a fan, and when he's a fan, you know that they're going to deliver. And he's a great.
They're going to bring their A game.
He's a great Batman. Aquaman, don't really care for Aquaman because Momoa can't act for shit. I'm sorry, he's worse than Godot as an actor. But because I like Momoa the person, I was okay with it being cast as Aquaman, if that makes sense. Then you got like the Flash, which I awful casting from day one. Don't like Miller, and Ray Fisher was fine as Borg. I thought it was perfectly fine. nothing wrong with it, but the films were arse, just complete fucking dog shit. And the only DC films I've liked is Matt Reeves' Batman and fucking Joker. In recent
and they're not
ones,
part
like
of
post
and they're not
Dark
part of the
Knight
DCU.
era. Huh?
And they're not
Yeah.
part of the
And they're
DCU.
not part of the Snyderverse.
If you look at Batman v Superman, that was a film that I felt was as a whole, the movie was terrible. But it was a movie that for a bunch of clips for like YouTube, it was fine. It had a bunch of great segments, but they had no business being put together, because
Yeah.
they didn't mesh well collectively. But you're absolutely right. Like Ben Affleck, if you're a fan of something, you're going to do your best to make that, well. But the material, if you just write garbage, it's garbage. Again, a lot of the DC films were films that if they had just had a script polisher, someone to go over the script, 2 or 3 more times, I'm sure they would have been wonderful films. But they just kept getting shredded. Now, somebody in the comments, let me go up here. I forget where it was.
Okay, I'll just go through some at the moment. Did you see any of the actors for the Marvel Universe refuse to help out in other movies? Not surprised. Why would they?
Well, it's in their contract, so you don't fuck with Disney lawyers. So even if they didn't want to, they would have had to.
They got a good thing going and being in Marvel. Why would they want to fucking try and play both sides? This is not.
Yeah, they got a lovely paycheck,
stupid.
Nice residuals.
Yeah. Most of the actors of the MCU would be okay with cameos. In fairness, how often was Superman only nemesis Lex Luthor when other people want to see him fight? Someone like Darkseid, Doomsday. Yep. I got really pissed off that they revealed Doomsday in the Batman versus Superman trailer when they shouldn't have done that. They should have left that for the film. And I guarantee you, people would have found the film more palatable if that surprise happened in the movie without the reveal in the first place.
Personally, I want Superman to go up against Mixie-Pitalik and just knock that motherfucker out.
And Lobo as well. Gal Gadot was terrible in her first outing. If her first outing is Batman versus Superman, I might give you a pass on that one because I actually thought she was. She proved me wrong in my opinion. Wonder Woman. I thought she was great. That moment when she gets her lasso out and she's fighting the Kaisers and all of that stuff. It almost brought a tear to my eye. I thought this is like you're doing Wonder Woman justice here.
I loved that it was set in World War One. I love that. I'm always a whore for period pieces. That's why I was really pissed off with Black Adam.
You're just a whore anyway. But anyway,
I feel like the only one that Wonder Woman did bad on was Wonder Woman 84 because
of course,
that was
everyone's in unison.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, what's up, pal?
Oh, what Brainiac, Metallo, Toy Man, Bizarro? I don't want to see Lex Luthor anymore. To me, they missed. I wouldn't mind seeing someone like Lex Luthor going up against Bruce Wayne, for instance, at the Battle of the Billionaires.
Mate, I don't. You know what? I don't want to see Lex Luthor on screen anymore. I'm sick of Lex Luthor. I see him in everything, even in the TV shows. He's always there, like as the main bad. It's just like fucking hell. I want Brainiac. That's what I want. I want fucking Brainiac. That's who I want as the next villain. That's it.
This is my best mate, Ryan Gerald.
Hey, Ryan.
For only being at Beatlemaniacs, to me, DC folks struggle with not having a Kevin Feige figure, but seeing it. Well, they feel that's the answer to everything, but it might not necessarily be. But they're going to give it a shot with James Gunn. Batman versus Superman was the first outing, and yes, he was terrible, but did improve for the following outings. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair. But the thing, look, again, this is what when it comes back to producers, and I do feel like Feige did a great job because Feige's worked his way up from a nobody in Marvel Comics. So his transition was not only natural, but it was a good one because he was the right person for the job. Obviously now you can tell he just doesn't care anymore, and the burnout is clearly set because he's trying to juggle too many projects and all of that, which is understandable.
In my opinion, on paper, it must have thought, yes, do the multiverse must be that's a really good route to go down. But as we've progressed down this multiverse route, it really hasn't been that great. And plus, they're giving us quantity over quality with the abundance of stuff we're getting now, trying to merge it all together and see where everything fits. It's just it's more Marvel stuff than we need. And I think the route they're going down is not that good. And now we've lost so many good characters now. There's no Steve Rogers, there's no Black Widow, there's no fucking Iron Man,
Well, you're
they're
replacing them
all
with like just boring fucking characters that
Cardboard
they
cutouts.
yeah, and they were created in the comic books to replace legacy characters for just because of the films, and nobody fucking wants to see these characters. I don't care what people's opinions are on just because that they're part of a certain demographic. Doesn't nobody wants to see those characters? I'd rather fucking have like if you want like your Black Woman and all this, get fucking Storm in there who people know and love, and replace your Avengers with your X-Men. And I feel like you might as well just go to the drawing board now and just get the fucking mutants out, because you're going to give us a bunch of shit that nobody cares about. Whereas with the mutants, you can create so many amazing shows alone with the mutants. We're not even talking films here. Like, you could set up the X-Men film through the series as having, the kids getting gathered around and all this kind of shit leading up to the X-Men and all this kind of stuff. Like, there's so much you could do with it. You could do shows focusing on just the villains and their origins, or the villains, and just there's so much you could do. And here we just get fucking characters that I don't care about. I've never read a comic of them. I have no intention of.
The thing about it, when you had the MCU first starting out, it was exciting because we all were looking at it with wonder. You go back to Captain America. That was a wonderful war movie. And I'm not a fan of war movies. My grandpa was, I wasn't. I thought they were boring as shit. But you had the Marvel equivalent of a war movie. You go to Hulk, and that was the Marvel equivalent of a monster movie. You go to Iron Man, that was a sci-fi movie. You go to
Thor, and you got your mythology.
Thor, that was fantasy, mythology, whatnot. But you had 4 different genres, all of them interesting in their own right, and they were great because whatever your poison was, there was something for everybody. But when you go to fast forward to She-Hulk, everything is so divisive, because instead of going, wow, this is a wonderful comedic attorney at law type thing, something like Night Court or whatever, where it would have been appropriate for this, where you had different, people from the MCU showing up in the courtroom and she has to fucking defend them, which would have been fun and interesting and something we all could have been engaged in. It was this fucking thing where she's twerking and doing God knows what, and just being fucking, controversy all the time. And that's the thing that with politics, like, everybody's so fucking pissed off and angry at each other. I don't want to go to my MCU shit and be just as fucking enraged there as I am when I turn on the fucking news. And that's what it wasn't when it first started, where it is now. And it makes it so, because there's such a flood of comic content out there, whether it's movies or TV shows, I don't even want to watch it anymore, which was when I went to Shazam. I enjoyed it for what it was, but then I get home and I'm like, oh, people hate this movie. Oh, good thing I went and saw it. I mean, I don't really care what they think, but I think it just waters down everything, because you either love it or you hate it. And I'm so mad at everybody. It's just, there's so much of it. And it's polarizing.
So my issue with She-Hulk was the writer basically just had a bug up her ass with Twitter and Twitter trolls. So this was her kind of way of expressing that anger. And it's just like, do it in your own time, in your own fucking space, not with a character where you have a plethora of great materials and a fantastic origin story, which they fucking butchered. And they gave us dog shit. Quite honestly, one of the worst fucking things we've had in the MCU. And the problem is it's fine to have, if you're going to have politics in it, it's fine. The problem with it is it's coming from a bunch of tone-deaf liberals. And when I say liberals, I mean the centrists who are just so fucking clueless about actual real-life politics, because they think, hey, if I tick this box, that's great. But what is the real-life problems? The real-life problems are about, the violence and the murder and the poverty and the policies that absolutely drive people into poverty and cause all this division in the first place. But in Hollywood, what you get is just a couple of men bad, this good,
Yeah.
and it's just like,
Well,
okay, but if everyone's doing that, I don't need to go and see She-Hulk and then go see, Dana fucking fisticuffs, because they're all going to say the same thing. So it's just like,
well,
what am I getting out of this? I'm getting the same shit, and it's all really, really badly
yeah.
executed.
Well, and that's the thing. Like when you watch, and going back to like early, Star Trek or Star Trek Next Generation, like that's what makes wonderful sci-fi is it's when they bring up, whatever controversial matter, but they bring up both sides of an argument and they make you think about it because they put it in such a light where it's not so far left or so far right, and then they use that platform to just beat you over the head with it where you're like, man, I'm turned off the product, because they paint it in such a light where you sit back and you go, huh, let me think about this. And you can bring up, topics on whatever,
Absolutely.
whether it's racism
Yeah.
or whatever topic, it's supposed to make you think. And I enjoy stuff like that. But the problem, like you said, with the bug up her ass, it makes it so polarizing to watch something, and the characters become so unlikable. You sit there and you're like, is there going to be any character growth? Is the starting point of this character, are they going to grow outside this? Because I find them very unlikable. And by the time you get to the end, fuck, man, I don't like this character still, and it seemed like the writers didn't either, because the big reset button on that, it's very off-putting to watch a show like that, and you wonder why they even fucking made it, because what little I know of the character in the comics, it didn't seem to be like that. I don't know, though.
My issue with She-Hulk's a little bit different to you guys. I think the problem for me, the show relied too much on its special guests to get it over the line. There was a fucking cameo pretty much every episode, and that kind of what was helping She-Hulk. I don't think they had enough faith in She-Hulk without those cameos in the first place, and then not all the humor hit for me. And the final episode with them, breaking the fourth wall, it just was just. I mean, I know they're trying to copy the comics. I generally get that, but sometimes what's on paper doesn't necessarily work well on film. And that was a prime example for far as I was concerned.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Again, you hit on the topic of the MCU having this problem, and Star Wars as well, of sidelining its main character, and other people stealing the spotlight constantly. They even did it with She-Hulk, and you're absolutely right. I just want to get to this comments in here by Shredder. What about the X-Men? It was literally, it was real telling of the civil rights struggle in the 1960s. Would that be too political, as it didn't make the mutants arguing of a mutant right sympathetic? Wait, let me read that again. Would that be too political, as it didn't make? But again, it's politics, but it's executed in a great way, in a compelling way. That it takes the idiots out of it that will be so high strung, or because they're on the wrong side of history, and it puts it in a way that, okay, let's take race out of it. Let's put it in terms of, well, it's not really race out, but two different types of humanoids. You got your sapiens and your superiors, and this is what's going on, and this is a struggle, and they did it in a great way, because Stan Lee, that generation of people were not as fucking propagandized with politics. They were able to see things with their own eyes more clearly, because there were more outlets, talking more truth to power. Whereas now, the level of propaganda people get and the crap they come up with, it's so difficult that everything's on a knife edge. So if you do X-Men now, I guarantee you people will be so fucking triggered that there's like a group hating on mutants, because they'll be like, oh, hang on a second, that's my group. I'm the racist group. So I hate this kind of thing. So
Shredder says, but go ahead.
Let's just get to some of the comments overall. So yeah, I'm sure Shredder started off with mentioning the world finance with Lex Luger hiring the Joker to kill Superman. Phony says, well, I want Mark Waid or Greg Rucka overseeing. I think that he means the DCU. He mentions Halle Berry. She was a bad Storm. She was a bad Storm because she played Storm as an American, not as an African. and that for me.
Well, they tried the accent. You couldn't do the accent, so they ditched it.
Yeah, and that's when they should have got what's her face to play.
Angela
Goddamn
Bassett,
Black
mate.
Panther.
She was
Angela.
my number one.
Oh my God, she still looks great today. She's in her
Yeah,
60s.
she was my number one
Yeah, I mean,
choice back then.
I wouldn't mind exploring things such as the alternative Earth, Superman, Calvin Ellis, or the Justice Lords. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I know a lot of the Phantom Menace Brigade will lose their shit, even though that person's in the goes. Oh, it's not like the comic books. Well, it is, but anyway, I mean, the DC has Kingdom Come or 52 are the great comics, which hasn't even bothered adapting because it's too busy rebooting every 3 minutes. Yeah, I know there's too much reboot. I do agree with you on that. Politics is fine, but it's fine, but it's to do it subtly. Give your example, like in Captain America, the whole story with Azai was great, but it was briefed. Wanted more of that, but it was told an important thing about history. Yeah, I did like the Isaiah Bradley story. I thought it was very well done in Falcon Winter Soldier. Well, what about the X-Men? It was
we've done
literally
that one. Skip to the next one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But is this the one?
Yeah.
But you're arguing about how it addresses both sides, which isn't the case in an art like comic book. Hasn't been for decades.
I disagree with that point. Take a character like Captain America, who's a very political person. When you get to a character, who's one, patriotic, two, stands for the truth, the right thing, whatnot, and then you how far do you take that? Belief in your country, belief in your whatnot, and then you take a character like who was the guy that replaced him in the Captain America or
Bucky?
Sam Wilson.
Bucky or Sam Wilson?
No, the other guy, the one who turns patriot.
Isaiah Bradley's grandson or great grandson.
No, I'm terrible with names. He becomes Captain America in
U.S. Agent.
Falcon and the
John Walker. Is it John Walker?
I think, yeah, John Walker. Yeah.
U.S. Agent.
Yeah, U.S. Agent. Forgive me, I'm terrible with names.
Yeah.
But he supposedly has the same thing, and that's one of those things. He supposedly has the same morals, but it's pushed to the extreme. So when you start to look at how far is too far, it's even explored in I think it's Captain America 2, where Hydra's kind of taken over and it evaluates the your own morals. Like, when is enough? Belief in your country, belief in the values, whatnot. So I would say that it's not been in addressing both sides of those issues, that it's not in comic books. I'd say that I have to disagree. I don't agree with that comment at all. I think it's still very much there. But again, subtlety over, if you don't agree with me, you're completely wrong.
Oh, look, I want to say regarding Captain America in the MCU, I don't actually think he's that patriotic at all. I think he's willing to fight against his own country if it means doing the right thing. Because you kind of saw that during the course of his movies and certain things that he was actually on the run from the American government. I thought John Walker was more of a puppet to a degree, as well. So, but yeah. Anyway, welcome Cheeto. Welcome to the stream. Have you got anything to add?
No, I've been listening the whole time. So
you can harken back to whatever you want to talk about Black Adam, Shazam.
Oh, just regarding Shazam and Black Adam Superman and Black Adam. I've always found that to be a very good combination and a very good fight, because Superman's main weakness is magic. So I've just always said that's been a fantastic fight that I've loved. It was even an animated form and it was great. So it's like I would love to see it in live action. So yeah, I don't know. I'm on board. I mean, I get what everyone's saying about all that, but I would love to see Superman and Black Adam face off live. I mean, it doesn't even have to be The Rock. I don't care. Like, The Rock as Black Adam never sit with me that superbly anyway. It's not like I'm like, oh, I want to see Dwayne Johnson versus Henry Cavill. No, Superman versus Black Adam is fine as long as it's a good Superman and a good Black Adam.
Where?
The problem with the Black Adam movie was they went so far out of his way to make him the anti-hero instead of making him a villain. Like it, and he kept saying like every 2 seconds, "I'm not a hero. I'm not a hero. I'm not a hero. I'm not a hero." Like I wish they would have just deleted that line like 20 times out of the movie and just like decide what you want him to be, because it's like if it was anybody else playing him, they'd have made him the villain. Like
Yeah.
it's you made him. I mean, he's literally the Rock in comic book form, and I felt like that was what. I mean, that was a huge fucking problem with that movie. Besides just being so much CGI and eye candy that it was nauseating. It was like watching one of those prequel CGI Star Wars fights, in space.
By the way,
So
Vance, if
yeah.
you sped up the film every time they did the slow-mo, the film was only 30 minutes long. So you could have got through the whole film. If
Are you
just sped
serious?
up the slow-mo. No.
Oh,
That's-
I
it's
was
just
like,
a
dude,
joke
did they
I always
really
make, like,
calculate that?
It's like Zack Snyder films are like 4 hours long because of the slow-mo. You cut it down, it's only 20 minutes,
Shredder, are you shitting me?
Yeah, mate.
No,
Ed
that
Sheeran
can't.
cast as
That
Superman.
cannot
It
be
makes
right.
sense.
I just started looking at online when I saw that. I don't think that's right.
His
I
main
don't-
superpower is just
Sounds good.
people losing the will to live when he bursts out singing, Hey, Block, welcome to the stream.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm gonna put myself on mute when I'm not talking because I'm echoing. But I just
All
like
right.
to say, since you guys are kind of doing the hero villain comic book stuff, I think heroes can kind of get away with being half baked. I mean, normally that's not a good idea to do, whether it's comics or shows or movies. But I notice a villain, to be a good villain, you have to either be like a total prick, or the audience have to relate to you. Like, oh, okay, I see why you're doing what you're doing. You can't like go halfway with a villain.
Yeah, absolutely. But sadly, yeah, what we end up is always with generic fucking villains that get killed off. It's just like you can always have a
Like
memorable
Kang.
villain.
What you
Yeah,
do with
like
Kang?
you kill
How
the
can you kill
Conqueror,
him?
Kang, and you leave us with the other fucking the
That
Pharaoh
should have been the
nonsense and all
movie.
the other idiots. It's just like
That should have
great.
been the movie where the villain won. Maybe not totally won, half win for the villain, a win for the villain, a villain,
No,
a win for the heroes to a degree.
He should
But
have
you
gotten
can't
away.
have Kang. He
Yeah,
should
just
have gotten away.
Just got back into the real world, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't necessarily. And that is the definition of him winning in that movie because he did. That's what he wanted. He wanted to get out of the quantum realm. So I mean, but at the same time, he didn't have to like kill Ant-Man, kill Wasp, kill the Janet and Hank Van Dyne, or not. Janet Van Dyne. And
No, he should have killed them off as well, so we don't have to deal with them.
Well, I like
that would
I
have been
like
nice.
Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, and I like Evangelical Lily as Wasp. Sorry,
Yeah,
are you talking about the older ones?
Nobody cares
Evangelical.
what you think.
Evangelical, yeah.
Evangeline Lilly.
Evangeline, my bad. God damn.
Evangelical.
Evangelical Lily. I mean, she is pretty angelic. I mean,
Well, yeah,
she's a very pretty lady.
Yeah, I think Michael B. Jordan is playing him. No, that's out now. It's done. Jesus Christ, Gary. Oh, fucking hell. Move that comment. I'm not acknowledging that.
Wait, what?
Okay, next comment here.
Wait, Gary's here?
Yeah, I like the potential Spider-Man to bring back villains like Alfred Molina's version of Doctor. Yeah, well, I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home was a fucking great film. Like,
to make that work, to make it work was remarkable. I think.
But let's be real. Menard did it first. I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't the worst Kang. They can't nerf Kang out of the box.
They can't nerf.
He was the conqueror.
Whatever, man. He was
the conqueror, and they killed him off the.
They killed the conqueror.
Itself. Yeah,
they killed the conqueror. Well, he might not be dead. He might have gone into the sub
the Nerdtube description box, which is smaller than anything in the universe.
That's it. It's gone into the terms of service universe.
Not the conqueror.
Yeah,
smaller than my penis. I mean,
yeah. Right. Well, moving on to the next world of disappointment. Star Wars has yet again fucking it never ends with this fucking it's its own saga. the drama outside the fucking universe. It's its own saga. So Stephen Knight, to write the new Star Wars movie after Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson have gone. I know Lindelof was hired to kind of make something. Obviously, the fucking none of there's no films. Like there are no fucking
4
films
years.
coming out for Star Wars.
4
years.
years is
No film,
ridiculous.
and that stupid arsehole is still in her job. Like, what the fuck is going on? Again, my disdain for producers.
Honestly,
It all started, by the way, my disdain for producers goes back to that arsehole that owned Batman and Superman at the time and completely fucked those films up. I always forget his name, but Kevin Smith always tells the best story about him wanting spiders in his films and all this. But that's where it started from. I don't want people to think it started from Kennedy because it didn't. It started from that cock. And it's just a mess. So more people getting fired, more shows are getting cancelled. Pat Jenkins' film not happening. Ryan Johnson's trilogy is not happening. Thank God.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, just it's just a mess. And like Mandalorian for me personally, it's a mediocre show that just feels directionless. And this week's episode, I get really pissed off now because it's like we went from we could be exploring the lore of the Mandalorians to they're complete fucking hillbilly idiots. You can't even fight a goddamn fucking pterodactyl. It's just like Christ on a bike.
yeah, we
And that
should probably
Samuel
get Ginger.
Jackson cameo was terrible. They de-aged him so badly. But they did do. Where was his fucking purple lightsaber?
Yeah.
We should get Ginger's. We should get Ginger's thoughts on because he wasn't here for our Mandalorian review. So
Anyway, you got my thoughts there. I was joking about Ahmed Best's cameo, which it kind of. I mean, that part opened up like a fun little fucking thing of.
Well, they love going back to 66. They love going back,
guys.
They love going
I gotta
back
go.
to 66.
Oh,
I gotta go, guys.
bye.
Thank you so much for joining
Take
us,
care,
man.
brothers.
You're beautiful, baby.
See
You're
you later,
beautiful.
mate.
Thank you for
Take care,
joining
guys.
us.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Have fun.
All the best.
Bye.
That was a bonus having the V-Man on stream. I'll tell you what, that was a fucking
Oh,
beautiful
yes.
bonus. Hopefully he comes back in the comments, or he could jump back on video later. Yeah. So did you guys hear about Ahmed Best's character and that he's already established within a Star Wars game show?
Yeah.
Kids?
Which I heard was really shit.
Yeah, it's shit. I watched an episode. It's absolute shit. But he gave it his best. Bless him. I think Lucasfilms just hate the fucking guy, and they put him in things that just open him up to even more abuse. Like the poor guy hasn't suffered enough. That being said, I thought it was a kind of sweet cameo that he got, even though it was poorly executed. It was still sweet, and it's sweet that it's an established character from another part. But it also brings me to my other point of they can't help but do fan service for even the most smallest thing. There's just no originality in there. At least you prove Ginger Greek isn't another V-Man's character outside of the prove it. That was my avatar,
So what does Star Wars even have going forward as far they have the Acolyte and what
Acolyte,
else?
Ahsoka, Visions 2, Spider-Man's director's fucking stupid kid film that he's got coming out, which I don't really care about.
That film. I mean, they haven't really got a decent
That's it.
movie. I mean, I heard they got the High Republic, but I don't even know if that's happening now.
That's not happening. I'm pretty sure, wasn't that what Lindelof was hired to do? I might be wrong.
The problem with Star Wars is just, I mean, it's so directionless. It's so honestly, which one is worse? Which one is worse, DC or Star Wars? Because I would contend that either or is just as directionless.
Because DC still has its animation, which is look, the last two animations that came out, which is the Doom That Came to Gotham, which was great. Apart from the first hour is great. After that, it just drags a bit. And League of Superheroes was good fun. And that, so they have the animation side of things that are strong. What the fuck does Star Wars has? Star Wars has Andor. That's it. Mandalorian.
From what
Sorry.
Sam says, Bad Batch is really good. So
Bad Batch is good. I enjoy. But listen, thanks for having. Quickly, just want to get a couple of things from V-Man here. Thanks for having me on, guys. Much respect for Shredder for being awesome in the comments. Keep on geeking on. You too, dude. And we have a $2 donation.
Oh, thank
as
you.
well.
Oh,
Thank
man,
you so much.
we should be
king.
paying you $2 to be on, to be on
King.
here.
Thank you, V-Man.
Exactly.
All the best. If you want to come back, even in the comments or on video, feel free. We're going to be going for another.
You got the
2
link.
hours,
We're gonna,
probably.
Yeah, join us whenever you want.
Yeah, no problem. But it's Star Wars is directionless. Okay, so at best they have 2 products at best, but nobody really cares about the Bad Batch outside.
I mean, and let's be real, the Ewoks movies are top tier animation.
Never beaten.
Never ever.
Never beaten. I showed my brother the Caravan of Garbage. That's what I call it now because of those Australian guys.
Yeah.
I showed him the Caravan of Garbage, and he doesn't remember it at all. And I was like, we fucking watched it together as kids. I said, you're 4 years older than me. He's like, I don't remember this. And I was playing it, and it was just like, this thing is a pile of shit. I'm like, you're joking, mate. This is better than Empire Strikes Back. I just kept like winding him up about it, and he thought I was like losing the fucking plot. But those Ewok films, man. Woo,
yeah, I remember the Ewok films, and I appreciated them when I was younger. But you watch them now, and you realize how goddamn dated they are. And it just hasn't lasted the test of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you watch those things as a kid, and they're great. It's like Droids, the cartoon. As a kid,
oh yeah, I remember that.
It was brilliant, especially the third series of Droids. Absolutely loved them as a kid. You rewatch them now, and you're like, Jesus Christ, the animation is awful.
There's so many things are like that now. Yeah,
but these days, what do we have? Like Visions. Who the fuck cares about Visions? The first Visions was a pile of shit.
I wanted it to
like
be good.
ones.
it was all fucking Jedi and Sith based, which was a joke. Every single one.
Everything.
Of those episodes.
Yeah.
And if you look on YouTube, there is a anime Star Wars animation out there, which is to do with like X-Wings and TIE fighters, and that is superb, absolutely superb. It's out there, yeah. But no, everything they did was the fucking same. I mean, there was a couple of good ones. I have to admit, there was a couple of good ones, but majority of them were shit.
Yeah, there was 2. The one with the lightsabers changing colors.
That was a brilliant one.
And I think, was it the first one with like the 2 samurai types?
The black and white one.
Yeah.
And like it felt like very
Kurosawa.
Kurosawa. Yeah.
I just want to say really quick, Ginger, can you believe that Zam and Boss Man, those assholes, did a fan film reaction to that TIE Fighter animated film without me?
Those bastards.
Those bastards.
Oh, we did.
How would I sleep at night knowing that the 3 people that watched that video didn't see you in
it? Hey, I watched that video 14 times, and I hate watched it.
And I was just masturbating in the background, so don't mind.
Well, look, we just go back to Star Wars. The fact that they haven't made a film yet is bugging me. I don't mind the series, but I do genuinely want a movie. Yeah, I want a new some sort of. I'm not talking anthology film either. Some sort of saga, however it may be. They need to get you bought this fucking property. Give us some fucking Star Wars now. We deserve it. You're pumping up Marvel content left, right, and center. Give us some more fucking Star Wars.
So basically,
fire the producer. Yeah. Sorry,
so basically, you want a movie that's not based on any of the established timeline. It has to take place way after or way before.
No, I'm not necessarily saying that either. I mean, I just want something. I don't know what it is. I just give me something, for fuck's sake. Just give me something, and give it to me now, because I've been waiting for 4 fucking years. As far as I'm concerned, that's too fucking long.
What? It's because they get any minority in it, the canvas loses its rag.
I have no idea.
What in the flying fuck are you on?
I think he's mentioning the fact that when what's her name was in the new one. Yeah.
I think
canvas is meant to be fan base. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's talking about fandom menace and stuff like that because they see a black woman and they lose their shit, you know, and all
But
that.
here's the thing: I don't think they have as much of a problem. Here's the thing: I don't think they have as much of a problem with it as they let on. But they've built an audience based on that outrage, and it's just like it's so stupid. I'm like, I can't even like pretend to hate something that much, except for Iron Man 3 and Ginger Greek's toes. So.
Well, delicious, mate. These guys, like, they are generally looking for the thing that they know that the audience will pick up.
Yeah,
on.
I'm not. You know what? Fuck, I'm not here to talk about those fucking incels. Okay, well, we're here to talk about. Look, if you give Star Wars fans something good like Andor, you won't fucking have people complaining. It's not that difficult. Give mature shit, not childish shit like that green frog cunt.
No, they'll still complain, but they won't have a leg to stand on because
no.
They won't complain in the same manner, you know. And
no, because everybody says that the last episode, not the one that just premiered, but last week's episode was a lot like Andor, and everybody not talking about you guys or us, you know, but like everybody bitched. Oh, it's an hour long of boredom, and it was very like Andor like of an episode.
Yeah, but it wasn't as well executed because the problem is there's no build up. It's just one episode of that done, and you move on to the next one. It's not. Andor had you gripped from the start, so even though there was lack of action in there, you were still hooked because you're like, oh, what's going to happen? And it was telling a good story that people didn't realize they fucking always wanted, which was keeping you hooked for 12 episodes and not just throwing it away as nothing. Like, what happened with those two cunts in that previous episode, which I like that side of it, is it's definitely setting up stuff for like later on, you know. So they'll come in later at a different kind of series, and people were, you know, weren't that happy about it. But I was just like, what would we have gotten with Mandalorian? A bunch of dumb action and the fucking kid. Great. So you might as well just explore other avenues. It's like Boba Fett. By the time Boba Fett come around, we were happy to see the fucking Mandalorian because it was a break from the mediocrity.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people are complaining that Mandalorian, like the same way Boba Fett wasn't necessarily the star of his own show, even though people love the Mandalorian scenes in the book of Boba Fett. Now people are complaining that Mando recently hasn't really necessarily been the star of his show because episode 3 was obviously regarding those other people, and episode 4, you know, there's more focus on people like Bo-Katan and the Armor Smith, but these things are stupid. You need to focus on other characters. You can't just solely be about the fucking Mandalorian. You need to expand on these people. We've had so much of Mando now. We know who the fuck he is. You know,
he's not an interesting character either anymore because we know his background now. So yeah, you might as well explore people.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't give a shit. At this point, just do whatever because you know you've made me hate the Mandalorians now because I'm just like, oh, wipe these. They're idiots. Wipe them out. They're just religious idiots. Fuck them.
Oh, I like the cowboy atmosphere of the Mandalorian. Just so they've been just do the kid has been highly profitable. They can get rid of it. Okay. So,
I'm just saying, you guys have reviewed fan films like that were based around the Mandalorian that were better than some of the Mandalorian episodes.
Oh yeah. Well, at least one or two, I think. I mean, I know the chapter 16.5. I don't remember what it was actually called, but like the one. Actually, it won fan film of the year for us one year. Like it was the #1 fan film we ranked 2 years ago or a year ago or whatever it was, a year and a half ago. And then Dead Heat. Which one was that? Was that one the one with the?
Well, he had that Mandalorian who fought that fat Jedi, and the Mandalorian himself sounded like he was from fucking Texas. You know what I mean? And
that one was terrible. And then there was a good one, and then there was a bad one. We kind of did them in close proximity. Like one had a red Mandalorian in it, the other had like an orange one, I think, or kind of like a. I don't know.
I think that was a good. That one turned out to be okay. I think, from what I recall. Anyway,
cool. Well, that's. I think we're done shitting on Star Wars yet again.
Because... we're never done with shitting on Star Wars.
Oh, and the viewership is down 25% on Mandalorian from season 2, by the way. So people really are just fucking fed up with Star Wars. But
I think on the flip side, stuff like Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett didn't help, did it?
Yeah, there wasn't Mando Series 2. Didn't that come out during the pandemic? So there might be a little bit of no. Did it? I don't know. Who cares? Whatever. I think people just fed up. But Kenobi really fucked things up, big time.
That should have been the crown jewel.
It should have been the crown jewel, and instead it was the fucking turd in the bowl.
I knew that Kenobi wasn't going to be. There was going to be issues with Kenobi, and I mean not just writing issues, continuity issues, as well as just. I mean, I like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, but they just should have never have gone back to that well. I'm sorry.
I couldn't agree more. Because they went to it, I was like, okay, fine, let's just hope it's good, and it wasn't. But they should never have gone. They should have just left it. They're stuck in the bloody Skywalker saga, and they need to get out of it. On the flip side, fewer people watching TV due to returning to work after well, this is it as well. This is why I'm not too kind of worried about the Mando viewership being down. I'm pretty sure that Series 2 was out during the pandemic, and so people were home for that. I might be wrong, but I don't care enough. Now then, and I've got Shredder here as well because I'm gonna explode my nipples. They announced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yes,
The Last Ronin is going to be made into a video game.
Yes.
Action RPG, God of War Ragnarok style game, and I'm so fucking pumped. I cannot explain how pumped. They stole our ideas.
2 weeks ago. We said this 2 weeks ago.
We were talking about this. I said they should have an Arkham-style Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games where 4 turtles can come in and play, approach missions in their own unique way. You know, one being speed, one being stealth, one being tactics, one being just flat out brawling their way through. Or we get a Last Ronin-style game. And we're getting the Last Ronin-style game. And I can't wait. I'm so fucking
It's official?
pumped. It's official. It's been developed. I can't remember the name of the company developing it.
Ginger broke into their archives and found solid proof. He went in Tom Cruise style and found solid proof that this game was in production.
No, I broke in and I found a lot of April O'Neil porn, but I was able to use that to blackmail them into giving me information that there's going to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game. So, swings and roundabouts, every cloud and all of that.
Yeah, you got the info.
Third person action RPG. That's all you fucking need.
So you're going to be like the one turtle then, right?
It's
and
just
you're just going to have all the weapons?
By the way, let's not spoil anything.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil who the Last Ronin was. And it's just literally an adaptation of the phenomenal comic book series that ran. Was 2 years ago now. The Last Ronin ran.
So
I think it's still going, isn't it? I thought it was still going.
It is still going. But what did I say? It came out 2 years ago. I think that's what I was meant to say. I don't know what I said. My brain is frazzled. But yeah, so The Last Ronin was a great comic book. I haven't read all of them. I'm not going to lie. I think I've read like 15 issues of it. And that might be a lie as well. I'll have to check. I've got it in my collection.
So it's like based on like, I know Ninja Turtles originally were black and white and like they all had the same bandanas. Like a lot of people that are familiar with the Turtles think, Archie comics or the 80s cartoon. No, the original Turtles were a lot darker and
they were
whatnot.
And they were.
Well, look.
It was,
personally, I think you guys, as excited as you guys are, just also prepare for disappointment, regardless.
Of course, it's gaming.
You know what I mean? Because
it's gaming.
Everything. It sounds all great, and then it fucking finally comes out, and you think, God fucking damn it, they've done it again. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why we wait for story trailer and gameplay footage.
Because to a degree, with 4 turtles, all of that sort of stuff.
It's only going to be one turtle.
Yeah, it's only one.
It's only one. That's why it's called The Last Ronin. So everyone else, like Splinter and 3 other turtles, are dead, and there's only one left, and you never know who it is until like you find out like really later on who it is.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's why we said we're not going to say who it is.
Yeah, it's like he wears black like
because they wear black. in this one, so they kitted out in black,
Do you think that
and they have
they might?
all the weapons of the turtles. They carry them on them.
And they're not going to adapt the story somehow to squeeze all the other turtles in somehow, and maybe do it
yes,
in
there's
avenue.
so they've hinted at that there might be. Obviously, look, it's still in the early stages, but they said that it could have a possibility of playing as other characters in flashback scenes and things like that. So they might add that in. There could be DLC. The DLC, they could easily do like a story where it's the run up to turtles getting wiped out and all this kind of stuff. So everything's up in the air now. We don't know nothing, and as always, we are expecting the possibility of being disappointed. It is Paramount, games that are kind of heading this off. The only good news is they did insist that it followed the tone of the comic book, which is very dark, very mature, and so that's really good. So they're not messing around. And if they're looking to go more God of War style, then even that's good, because that's a good dark tone and a really good storyline and all this kind of stuff. So
this is one that I wouldn't mind if if it's a great first game, I wouldn't mind them doing a prequel, still keeping that darker tone, like Block was saying, like the original comic book, but just going back and with the original 4 turtles and maybe leading up to how the other 3 turtles died, and stuff like that. Like, I mean, as long as they don't take too many creative liberties, because Last Ronin's a great book. I mean, it's it is a darker twist on what happens with the turtles. Because I know in the past, I mean, they've delved into darker issues, but like this is probably the darkest the turtles have ever been, and they've been somewhat dark.
Yeah. I want to go on what Shredder's saying here. Spoiler: Last Ronin is really Vernon Fenwick. God damn it!
Will you stop spoiling it, Shredder?
You jerk. I'm unfortunately prepared for potentially another Mutants in Manhattan. Oh God, please no. God, please no.
It's going to be Mona Lisa, is the turtle. The girl turtle.
I launched my controller across the room trying to kill Baxter Stockman. It was so ridiculously broken, and it just wouldn't die. I don't know if the game was broken. It wouldn't die, and I just fucking uninstalled the game. That game was awful. But again, look, open city, and they reduced it to just a brawler, and that was disappointing. So yes, I'm hoping we don't get that. I'm hoping we get more Arkham mixed with God of War. That's fine. Don't just make it, a fucking generic hack and slash. Give us things to like puzzles to solve, things to explore, things to like, detective work kind of shit and all this kind of stuff.
Don't make it like Fallout either, where there's survival elements and you're doing all this.
Oh God,
too much.
Yeah. I can't stand survival games. Can't stand them. You got to drink water. You got to eat food. I barely do that in real life, apart from food stuff. I eat plenty of that.
Oh, but you drink water, eat food, but your character never takes a shit. You know what I mean? What's the point?
You need to pay your taxes. You need to. That's GTA 6 will be that. You need to pay your taxes and go pay your phone bill and
read
all
this
that.
comment.
The original comic run was noir as hell. It had 2 different. Yeah, okay. We don't need to go back into that. Right. We have a great hack and slash. It's called Shredder's Revenge. Goddamn right. And the follow-up to that is Toxic Crusaders coming out in the same style, in the same vein as Shredder's Revenge. And I can't wait. I'm hyped for that as well. I love Toxic Crusaders. And are you honestly telling me the truth that they couldn't have an Arkham-style game based on the current comic book run? They could have easily done it. Easily.
Are we talking about turtles still?
Yeah, the turtles.
Yeah, no, me and Ginger talked about that 2 weeks ago. We were talking about having all 4 turtles. Now, granted, yes, we weren't talking about doing the Last Ronin specifically, but we were talking about doing a turtles version. And all credit to Ginger. Ginger's the one who brought it up. I mean, I tickled his ball sack on that one.
I mean, that's always been my number one dream, is to have a turtles game. And by the way, Gary, yes, absolutely. A Last Ronin in the style of Ghost of Tsushima would be good, but I still want more Arkham elements in it, like the way you traverse and the way you explore and stealth and all this kind of stuff. I don't just want action brawling stuff because I really wanted and I said in there, each turtle approaches things in a different way. So Donatello uses infiltration with his gadgets, whereas Michelangelo uses like speed or more acrobatic, better traversing. Raph just walks in and beats the shit out of each other. Leonardo kind of strategizes with the other turtles in setting up positions before attacking. They could have done it in so many ways. And it's not impossible because this is how the Rainbow Six games were born. The Rainbow Six games, you literally planned out your whole mission before you went in there, before you raided, before you did things. So everything's possible. They're just, lazy, and that. So I just this is the next best thing, and I would happily take it. Turtles is a fantastic. It's like Star Wars. There are so many possibilities with it, so many endless possibilities, so many avenues they can explore, so many styles that they'd have more game options than they would remaking cartoons all the fucking time. Yeah.
And not only that, not only could you do the entirety of New York above ground, you can do the entirety of New York below ground too. You would have so much, like, you not only would you have this like transverse
with the sewers and stuff.
Got
and then you've got the X dimension as well, Dimension X as well, and then it's just endless possibilities, endless avenues to explore. You can easily tweak it and do your Shaggy, your Jimbo, and go back in time and all this kind of stuff. Like, see, look, I think Shredder's like coming in his pants.
Yes,
he's like, oh yes, this is everything I've always wanted.
What I would do as well is that I would let the sole surviving turtle honor his brothers by willing to fight in their fighting style. So, for argument's sake, I mean, for me, it's going to be either Raphael or Leonardo who's going to be that sole survivor, in my opinion. So, if he wants to fight like Michelangelo, he'll get the nunchuckers out. If he wants to fight Donatello, he'll get the stick out.
That's what he does.
Yeah, that's what he does. He has all of the other turtles.
The Ronin has. Sorry, go on, Cheeto. You go for it.
Yeah, no, he has all of their weapons, and he uses all of those weapons.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you go. See, the sewers, the streets, the skylines, Dimension X. It has an unlimited potential, and it could be easily done. It's not difficult to do. And with Unreal Engine 5 coming out, oh my god, Paramount would see more money from the Turtle games than they would from Turtle films.
I would make the Soul Turtle personally if I had the chance to do it, and maybe go straight away from the comics or however it is written, make it Donatello, because he's the gadget guy as well, so he could pretty much do what all the other turtles do, but he's also got the gadgets as well, which would be a nice touch.
Well, again, we're not saying any spoilers here, but that's fine. That's what you want.
I think Ginger, you know who it is, right?
I know who it is.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, so I mean, it could be any of the four. Let's put it that way. I mean,
it could, and you know what? I suppose if you wanted to be a bit cheeky, you could have it as a choice in the game. So you get to pick the surviving turtle while your brothers die.
Venus survives.
Yeah, and then you could do and Venus survives, and then you could do a playthrough with each one that has slightly different
really
style.
Yeah. Quit spoiling it, Shredder. It's actually Toka and Razor. They just trade.
Toka and Razor. Oh my god.
Last Ronin is fucking Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I thought the last Ronin was Tom Cruise. Oh wait,
no, he's the Last Samurai.
That's the Last Samurai. Get it right, you racist.
What can I say? I'm white. I'm racist.
But it's also like again, and there's like again, if you get it right, the characters that you can play with as like the fucking frogs or Duckman or Casey Jones or
Casey Jones would be another good one that you could like if you do side quests with Casey. I mean, that's a dream. I would love to play as Casey Jones.
Yeah, there are so many possibilities. It's honestly like it's of all the franchises in the world, the two that piss me off that they are so lackluster in are X-Men and Turtles, because the possibilities are literally endless, and I can't wait to see what they do with the Wolverine game, and I hope that Wolverine game gets in some other X-Men in the follow-up.
It's been a long time now.
It's been ages. It's been 3 years nearly, over 3 years since they announced it.
I want to see some fucking footage. The same with the Indiana Jones game. I think it's about time we see some fucking footage now of some capacity. You know what I mean?
I agree. It's too long. I get taking your time, and I guess because they're working on Spider-Man 2, maybe they can't get as much people committed to the Wolverine game. But Spider-Man 2 is coming out this year, so I'm hoping.
Ain't seen shit for Spider-Man 2. We've seen a
I have,
trailer,
yeah.
but
There's
No,
just
they've released some
just
stuff.
trailers. Yeah, just trailers.
yeah.
I would say limit the characters you can play as the Turtle, Splinter, Casey Jones, and the Punk Frogs. The only real fighters. April should be solely. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, April is more your reconnaissance kind of missions.
Yellow
and stealth
jumpsuit,
missions
big
and
tits.
It
Don't
has
matter
to be
what
yellow
color.
jumpsuit, big tits. Absolutely.
Oh,
I don't care. I don't
absolutely.
care
Are
if
you
she. I
kidding
don't.
me?
I don't care if she's black or white or whatever. Yellow jumpsuit, big tits.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
If you look at April O'Neil in the '90s, she should have been a black chick. I mean, those hips and those tits. I mean,
She was a thick mama.
She was, and like, I mean, I think they were just like, oh, we can't put a black chick in this show. Nah, dog. Well, let's like give her all the best parts of a black girl. You know, it's like
yeah, exactly. Because in the comics, obviously, yeah, she was black. So
exactly, they couldn't actually give.
Well, they couldn't do it back
black
then.
chick.
No, Reagan's era. They couldn't have anything black.
Yeah, good
He
old
was
Reagan.
ruining the community. April O'Neil, she's portrayed by April O'Neil, the adult actress. Hey, sounds good to me, mate.
I need to Google this adult actress right now.
Go for it. You do that now, and
Yeah, I'm gonna quit.
yeah. But yeah, like I said, possibilities are endless. Sticking with games, Ubisoft to use AI chatbots for NPC characters in their game. So this is, again, we'll see more and more about the scourge of AI. And Bill Gates even said this is like the age of AI coming. And we're just looking to replace more writers, more jobs with AI.
Wow.
But when it comes to Ubisoft, are you really going to notice the difference between the AI chatbot and the writers they fucking hire? Not at all.
What are you implying, sir?
I'm implying that everyone
don't
there,
worry.
even Yves Guillemot's a fucking robot.
Zam, don't turn on screen share.
Don't
Turn
worry,
on
don't
screen
worry.
share. Let's
You
get
can do
let's get
it.
demonetized. Come on, we're gonna get blocked.
Anyway, so that was that on Ubisoft. There's nothing else to say. There's Counter-Strike 2 finally coming out. Same shit, better graphics. I don't really care about Counter-Strike. They had the Future Game Show yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, and I don't know if any of you watched it. It was pretty much the same old generic games. Like everything coming out on Xbox is just fucking first person. But it was pretty much everything nowadays is either roguelite, Soulsborne like, or fucking first person games or XCOM style games. And but there was a couple of games that did stick out for me, which was what was it? Pizza Possum, which basically is a game that speaks to me because you're just a possum that goes around eating things, trying to steal the key to break into stuff. Shadow Gambit, which I'm very much looking forward to because it's from a company that give us Shadow Tactics, which is a fantastic isometric stealth game, which I love in the style of. I don't know if you guys remember the game Commandos. Don't know if anyone remembers that.
I went
Point and
commando
click.
today to work, but
Maybe.
Nice. So it's like a point and click World War II game. Well, this is like that, and so I'm looking forward to that. And there was a lo-fi VR which looked gorgeous. It was not steampunk. It was cyberpunk in VR, and it looked really good. Whether it's going to be any good remains to be seen. But those were the only standouts, and obviously the Unreal 5 engine demos were really good. What else have we got here? I've talked about that. And just briefly on wrestling, obviously, yes, both the games were amazing. On wrestling, we have so Alexa Bliss had skin cancer. She had a basal cell carcinoma, which was why she was off TV. And she's all right now. They got it early and that. But if you're pale, stop fucking using sunbeds and trying to tan in the sun all the time. This is what happens.
Be proud of your skin, like fucking Sheamus. He doesn't fucking do that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Sheamus happily stays pale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're mute. You're mute. I can't hear you.
Who? Can you not hear me?
I can hear Cheetah. I can hear you. I can't hear Cheetah.
Did
I'm
Cheeto
not
speak?
mute. Yeah, I'm not muted.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I thought you were speaking. My bad.
Yes, yes. Moxley's bladed already. He bladed the minute I said Alexa Bliss. By then, he was already bleeding. And then we had like the shocking revelation that CM Punk has never watched a Rocky film. That to me is
I
crazy.
mean, I've even watched a Rocky film. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and you're adverse to violence in any form. So
Yeah, I know.
That's
As I
crazy.
went the last Ronin to like behead people.
Yeah. Yeah, she's fine. Really good thing promoting getting checkups from your doctor. Yes, raise awareness. Stop using fucking sunbeds and stop tanning all the time. Especially with the amount of pollution in the air now, it's even worse. Skin cancer. Fucking 3.5 million Americans get skin cancer every year. That's not a fucking joke. What's that? Like 1% of your population?
Is it mainly white people who get it though?
Well, yeah,
Is
obviously.
it a white? Yeah, because yeah.
Yeah, I have to be I have to be careful. So I have to get a very fine base redness first, and then I go brown. But I don't sit there and tan. I cover up all the time because
I just don't go outside if I can help it.
Well, there's that too. I don't go outside.
And me personally, I don't like to get darker than I already am, but I end up looking like a fucking Sri Lankan. You know what I mean?
Well, you're right. You
wrong
can
in looking like a Sri Lankan, but I don't want to fucking look like a Sri Lankan.
Yeah, you can get discounts at Kingsbury Road.
Yeah, I do anyway, but.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all my topics that I had. I was going to say Ginger Greek can't even look at holiday brochure without applying. Exactly. I need a tan just to look at a holiday brochure. In the shocking news of England, we have Soccer AM is ending, which is not really a shock because I actually thought it ended years ago. If I'm being perfectly honest. But Soccer AM was just like a legendary sports show. I loved it back in the day. A lot of my uni friends ended up getting jobs there because they did like media studies, and one of them was on TV. She's a really pretty girl called Lisa, so they obviously wanted to put her in front of the camera. But it was a classic, and it's come to an end, and it should have ended when Tim Lovejoy left. If I'm being honest, because after that, it just wasn't the same.
Is Helen Chamberlain still on it?
No, she left back in 2015.
Yeah, I mean, she ended with her going as well, I guess.
Yeah, it's still going, but guys cutting costs. No, we know it's still going. That's why I said we thought it finished. Okay, it's coming to an end now. Now it's coming to an end. Okay, after 28 years. Anyway.
28 years, blimey.
28 years.
Oh, and talking about football, England, we beat Italy yesterday in the Euro qualifiers in Italy. First time we've beaten them for like 61 years in Italy or some shit like that.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that. It was a big deal. And Harry Kane broke the record. He's now England's all-time goal scorer. Highest goal scorer stuff. Good stuff. Got our revenge over Italy. Shame I would have rather lost to Italy in this game if it meant us winning back a couple of years ago with the Euros, personally. But still, I'll take what we can get, And we're playing Ukraine this Sunday, so it'll be Saka versus Zinchenko. So see how that pans out.
Saka versus Zinchenko. Fun fact: Velvet Sky and Angelina Love appeared on Soccer AM. Oh, did they? Awesome.
It says Batista. Batista's appeared on Soccer AM. So.
Do you guys remember when they brought on Barry from EastEnders, but they mistakenly booked the wrong guest? So they wanted, because his name's Sean Williams, and they wanted Sean Williams, the footballer, but they booked fucking Sean Williams, the actor, and he showed up anyway.
I never knew that.
You never knew that? Oh, it was so funny. That just kind of helped elevate his status after that. Because I wasn't doing anything, so I came anyway.
It reminds me of Mike Bassett, England manager, where he writes down his squad on the back of the
edges. Oh my god! Oh, I love that film so much. That's one of my favorite British films. That was so good.
Well, funnily enough, I'm actually.
Well, you said to get fucking Benson and Edges.
After my fall on the ladder, I just for some reason started watching Ted Lasso. I just got into it today, and it's good fun. I thoroughly enjoy it because it is a culture clash show, but you could tell that this has definitely been written by Brits, regardless of the American playing the main lead.
I think it's
Yeah,
pretty. I think it's written by the Asian guy that's in it.
Regardless,
assistant?
I think yeah, but you could tell he's British regardless. You know,
Yeah, no,
so
he's British. But what I mean is,
yeah,
I think he's the guy that wrote it. I
and
think
it's
he's the
very
guy that
very
wrote
good.
it. I didn't like. I
It's
didn't
very
like Ted Lasso. Yeah, I didn't like
you
it. It's
know.
been done before, and then
I,
not a fan
I,
of
I,
it.
I've
But a lot of people
enjoyed,
enjoying it.
yeah, I'm enjoyed it. I mean, 94% on the Rotten Tomatoes,
Yeah,
and I can see why. Personally, I'm having a good time with it. So if I'm like 4 episodes in, it's been good fun.
good. Harry Kane has 2 goals in that match. He was also able to claim Declan Rice's goal on appeal. I think he was able to claim France's 3 goals as well
Yeah.
tonight. And Greece won tonight. We toppled the mighty Gibraltar. Let's go. It was a hard
Yeah.
game. It was a hard fought battle at 3-0. But we
So,
had to do it.
basically, I want to talk about the biggest non-shock ever, and the only person to actually benefit from this was Donald Trump himself, because the amount of money he raised, but this guy does it. He knows a good grift when he sees one, announcing that he's going to be arrested, and then he made so much fucking money, through campaign
Give us a
donations
Donald Trump impression.
after
Huh?
announcing that he was going to.
Give us
He
a
made so
Donald
much
Trump
money.
impression after he's getting arrested.
Oh God. See, I can't do it on command. It just has to kind of.
All right, okay. When it comes to you naturally. Sorry, carry on, Sam.
Well, but he said he was going to get arrested on Tuesday, and then some people were possibly saying it was going to happen on Wednesday. There was a whole bunch of people I know personally, as well as people in the media, who were expecting it to happen this week. But one person who didn't expect it to happen this week was me, because he's not called Teflon Don for no fucking reason, and I wasn't surprised that he made a shitload of money off all of this. And I'm kind of disappointed with people on my side of I've been quite disappointed with people on my side of the political spectrum this week for a couple of things, actually. This being one of them, because it was almost like fucking the left-wing version of the fucking rapture, and they're expecting it to happen. You know what I mean? With Donald Trump being fucking indicted. It wasn't going to fucking happen. People were really stupid to believe it was going to fucking happen.
You
You know
can't
what I mean?
indict me. I will never, ever be a lesbian ever. I will not be an indike. No, I won't.
Yes, I will
There,
smear
it came-
what's
it came
on my
right then.
face.
His house has been raided by the fucking feds, for fuck's sake. I mean, like, all types of things have happened to him. Before he even became president, he had done some terrible things. He's got like over 20 women with rape and sexual allegation charges against him. Nothing has happened to this guy. Yeah, but the one thing that he is amazing for, all the things that he has done, it is fucking using campaign fund donations to pay off a fucking porn star. Because let's remember, in America, bribery is legal. Anything the rich can do is legal. If it's against the rich, like fraud, it's illegal. But they'll always keep bribery legal. So bribery is fine, but he used campaign fund donations to do it, and that's the fucking thing they were getting him on after all the fucking things he was supposed to be done for. And even then, he never got done for that shit. It's fucking ridiculous. I can't believe people fell for it. I'm pissed off at society.
I know. It was quite hilarious seeing people thinking he was going to get arrested. I'm like, no, he's just going to look to raise more fucking money. It's like these people don't get fucking arrested. Like, who says I'm getting arrested on Tuesday? It's like they call him up and say, oh, by the way, we're coming to pick you up on Tuesday. Is that all right? No. And then he just makes a whole fucking song and dance. It plays the victim. And Trump to release a cover, man, will you help me repair my door? Oh, my God. So for context for that is the great singer Afro Man who give us a song, Because I Got High.
Yeah.
His house was raided by the police on suspicion of kidnapping, trafficking, drugs, and all of that. And they got nothing. But what Afro Man did is he took all the police footage of them and his own home footage of the raid, and he made a song about it. So you got the live footage of his house being raided by cops, and he made a song about it. And now the police are suing him for emotional damage. which I find
What
absolutely
the hell?
hilarious.
I thought they were singing for royalties, but no.
Yeah. No, it's emotional damage.
Oh
That's what they want him
God,
from.
the fucking
He's made
snowflakes! I
multiple
swear to
songs
God,
about it. Good God.
mate. Yeah, the police can't sue him for that sort of shit. The amount of times rappers have ripped on the cops. They can't.
Now the
It
case will
opens
get
up a can
thrown
of
out.
worms. Yeah.
But I guarantee
Yeah.
you, he's made a real enemy from the cops now. So they're just going to try and catch him on anything. So he has to be doubly careful. I'm
Yeah.
more interested in the car crash that was Bojo the Clown at the Privileges Committee. Oh, that was ridiculous. The only thing I could see them getting him on the lawsuit is merch, possibly using their likeness. I don't know if people saw him squirming when that Labour MP asked him about the parties. Yeah, we saw it all. And it's just, I get so fucking mad because it's just like, what, take a truncheon to the fucking cunt. Like, it's ridiculous what they could get away with. So what? It goes onto the committee, and what happens? They have a natter. He might get a fine. He's not going to be deselected. He's not going to get thrown out of the Tory party. Nothing's going to happen. There'll be no repercussions. So why are we bothering? It just, it makes me sick because my dad was fucking dying of cancer in the hospital, and we had to bargain to get to see him when he caught an infection. We thought he might die on that day. And these cunts are sitting there partying. Luckily, my dad got to come home and die at home in peace. But the fact that we had to beg for three of us to go and see him, and we couldn't all go in at once, we had to take it in turns. Well, these artists sitting there quaffing champagne and having the time of our lives and telling us to be social distancing and stay indoors and all this fucking mediocre shit. I'm about ready for Molotov cocktails and guillotines at this fucking point.
Dude, like people like Baroness Thatcher, like when she was our prime minister, she did all types of shit, and no one ever gets held accountable for when you're that, especially when you're a leader of a political party. It's a security blanket. Yeah, you're free to get away with all types of fucking shit. So yeah, Boris Johnson, of course not.
For 10 days. And then he'll be subject to a recall petition. Good Lord. Man, that is a tough punishment. What can I say? Good Lord.
So
I take that back, Shredder.
This next political thing is probably the one. I feel like I'm going to be in the minority on this one, but it's to do with Anna Kasparian's tweet, and how she wasn't even shitting on trans people.
Before we get into that, let's just read this last comment by Shredder here, because it's shocking. He would also potentially lose his resignation dishonors list, meaning quite a few people will not get into the House of Lords. You know what? I take it back. He's really going to suffer through this. He has to recontest his seat. Well, I'm hoping he fucking loses it. If the people of Uxbridge vote this cretin back in, then you know what? This country just deserves to burn to the ground. On that note, Zam, yes, I love it. I was going to touch on that subject, but go for it.
Yeah, I can't remember all of Anna Kasparian's tweet, but I did read it. And
I think I've got the thumbnail.
Yeah, you want to read it out, or you want to show it?
No, I'll just read it out. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, I have to go to my Facebook to do it. Carry on.
Yeah, I mean, I might need to be corrected on this, so but I do
hang
feel
on.
I have to read it.
Put it here.
Yeah.
I'm a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus, birthing person, or person who menstruates. How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this shit. And that was what she said.
And I swear to God, the shit she got for that, I was shocked. I genuinely was.
I wasn't surprised, to be honest.
I mean, I think
I-
people are just giving her shit because of the. I mean, who knows it? I'm one of those people that think that the media fabricate a lot of this stuff. They pay people to kind of fabricate a lot of this buzz so that they can report on it. You know, like so.
Of course.
Yeah, I you know, and I don't know.
Cheetah, it's not just the media. Like I was looking, watching these independent YouTubers, and it's amazing how many people give grief they were giving her. And this is what pisses me off. As somebody who's on the left, who considers himself to be a lefty, yeah, we eat our own so much over such trivial fucking shit. You know what I mean? You know, we hold everyone up to a
Remove the
standard that
comments.
nobody.
Remove the comment.
Yeah, so we hold everyone up to a standard that nobody can achieve. And then when somebody maybe slips up, or what we consider a slip up here or there, instead of even giving them a pass, we come down on them. You know, I told you about I posted a clip of taking the piss out of Madonna about her face being bloated and stuff like that. And I even mentioned how no one gave me grief when I said that Mickey Rourke looks like fucking Leatherface with the Leatherface on his face. You know, with his fucking plastic surgery. You know what I mean? No one gives me shit for
Yeah.
that because he's a guy. But I take the piss out of Madonna and everyone thinks that I'm having a go at all women when people know that when I'm just making fun of her, she's a celebrity. That's what I'm really, really doing. It doesn't come from a place of hate. I do think she's one of the greatest. I think she's the greatest female artist of all time, which makes her one of the greatest musicians of all fucking time. You know what I mean? All of these things, but I can still take the piss out of her and all of that. But then people on my side of the political aisle are all having a go at me. Same way they're all having a go at Anna Kasparian over fucking nothing, in my opinion. Absolutely fucking nothing. If you watch, I hold my hands up. I like watching the Young Turks. I do listen to what she has to say, and she's always defending the trans community. Her and Cenk. So for people to have a go over this, it's fucking ridiculous. It really is fucking ridiculous, and we need to stop eating our own over every fucking comment that certain people say when it's not that bad in the first place. I thought it was nothing. I don't know where you stand with this, Ginger.
Look, I understand where she's coming from. And I'm not here to attack. Obviously, you know, I'm not here to attack the trans. One thing you should know about me is do you remember Blog TV?
Of course.
Right.
Of
So
course.
going back in the Blog TV days, so I would say I was probably the first person to do it, where I did like an open forum inviting trans people to come and join my Blog TV to explain to me what it is they go through. And this stemmed from me and my friend. I was at my mate's house and he put on fucking Jerry Springer, and a trans person came out. And of course, you know what the Jerry Springer show is. They're going to make them look like the worst, most horrible person, all this kind of stuff. And my friend just made all these assumptions. And I was just like, you know what? I can't answer this, and you shouldn't make assumptions. But I said, you know what? I know a few trans people on YouTube, so I did the thing, opened the forum, and it opened my eyes up, and all this kind of stuff. So I go back very far with the trans community, so don't take this the wrong way. Where I think Anna is coming from, and I might be wrong here, but I said it on Facebook, it's the language being used by people like liberals, white liberals, making assumptions on behalf of trans people that if they don't use certain terminology, they might offend them. It's the same thing we have with the Muslim thing, where corporations make the assumption that if they remove the word Easter and Christmas, it broadens the appeal for people to buy their products. And Muslims are turning around going, well, who the fuck told you to change that terminology? My kids want fucking Christmas presents. We put up fucking Christmas trees. So, and nobody told you to do that on our behalf, but you're making us look like the ones that are making these demands. So Anna should have been careful in her approach, because who they're going to go after now? The left are going to go after her, and the other sides are going to think that, oh, the trans community are bullying people into changing the words from woman, because we saw it with J.K. Rowling. This is where it all kind of first came out, with the whole women who menstruate, rather than just saying it's a women's award. Okay. And again, this was terminology used by people on behalf of a community that didn't fucking ask for it. And you can't, now, because of these assumptions, because we do it, we see the media do it all the time now. We see it with Muslims all the fucking time, where the Daily Mail literally makes up stories that they've removed this word and they've removed that word so they don't offend Muslims. And then what happens is people go after the Muslims because they think the Muslims made demands to change the words. It's the same thing here. We have fake stories breaking out about trans people now at record level because the right have now managed to hook the white liberal women on their side as well. So they have carte blanche to make up as much shit as they can to keep fueling that fire. And a lot of these stories are just made up bollocks, and it's painting the trans community in a worse way. And then you get people like Anna that are getting frustrated because she's reading things like this all the time. She's like, look, just fucking call me a woman. That's it. And that's where I think she came from.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm just very disappointed with my community that they are like they're hung, drawn, and quartered her. When if you see what she's done for when it comes to being a voice for this marginalized community on as the Young Turks are, on YouTube, being one of the bigger voices, you have to give her a pass. I mean, Bossman saying some certain things, but yes, she's not dog whistling, dude. She's not, I mean, she's just giving her opinion on certain things. And she's one thing for sure. I know this because I've seen her constantly. She's not anti-trans. She's not. And people who say she is just want to pick a fight for no fucking reason when there are more important people to go after, like your Ron DeSantis's, and people like that, and all these fucking other Republican politicians, and going after fucking someone like Anna Kasparian, who's usually got your fucking back.
I'm going to put it in a way that Boss Man will understand. This is like when Boss Man keeps telling me that I'm anti-DC or I hate DC. I don't hate DC.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just don't like some of the products that they're putting out.
Yeah.
And in Anna's case, she doesn't like some of the terminology being used where it doesn't need to be. If it's used in a medical sense, that's fucking fine. Use it in the medical sense, because I understand you have trans men who have a uterus, and there is that aspect of it. But when it's a white liberal fucking or media outlet using that terminology, it helps fan the flames. And you shouldn't do that, because then you get people like Anna Kasparian getting frustrated and chiming in on it.
I honestly, I don't see the problem personally. I don't want to be described as person with uterus. She don't want to be described with a general neutral term by saying I'm a person with. I want to be just called a woman. I genuinely don't see what the problem is with that. She's not being anti-trans whatsoever. I mean,
No.
people are picking up on that and saying, "Yeah, she's anti-trans now." All of a sudden, it's like, seriously, why do you want to? Why do we do this as leftists? Why do we bury our own so easily? We never fight the good fight. We're too busy fucking, policing our own in a way that makes it impossible for fucking people to ever want to not stand out of line. And then some people just say, "Hey, fuck this! I'm going to join the right so I can say what the fuck I want." You know what I mean? Which is and
Yeah,
someone like me will never. I'll never flip
because
like that.
I mean, I call those people fickle fucks anyway, because they are fickle. They think that by joining the other side, they can now speak their mind. It's like, well, no, that's not how it works. I align a lot with Hassan Abi on this particular thing. Where it's like, no, I'm still going to say the fucking shit that people don't want you to say, because I just fuck it. It's not. It doesn't mean anything anymore. There are certain things that just don't mean anything anymore, but you keep wanting them to mean what they used to mean. But terminologies and all this shit, fucking, it moves on. Certain things move on, and you can't keep harping. But I said we're the only generation that just refuses to allow things to evolve into something else. I'm talking about the R word and things like that. And it's just like it's not even used medically anymore. It's the same with spastic. It's not used medically anymore. It's just evolved into something else. And if you don't like that word, that's fine. We say it because we're just part of that generation, that it's just part of our vernacular, and it just slips out. Well, I'm not gonna sit there and fucking allow myself to be berated by people just because I said it. I said, look, it's in my vocabulary. It comes out. I don't mean it from a bad place. All right. It's just one of those one of those things people just keep fucking focusing on. I said the only thing I give a shit about is if you're on my side economically. That's it. And socially. But those are my main thing is economics. Because socially, it's a broad term of things of acceptance and hatred and all this kind of shit. So for me, just as long as your economics are left-leaning, that's the most important thing that the left should be focusing on. Because you sort that out, you can get rid of a lot of the racist shit as well. Because when you find when people have money and no worries, I don't give a fuck about all the other crap. Because they're like, well, I've got no problems. Everything's paid for. I'm chilled. I've got enough money. I can buy what I want. I can relax. I'm happy.
But I'm just saying as well, like, instead of micromanaging what people have said and wondering if they're being, for instance, and the Kasparian's sake, being transphobic or not, just look at her fucking history and know that she is it. And if you think that she is, give her a fucking pass and move on. You know what I mean? Just fucking move on. This is ridiculous. You need people like her to fight our fight instead of fucking, ostracizing them. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm very angry about this.
I have my own issues with the Young Turks, but on this particular thing, it's fucking stupid. Like Anna is a lot of things, but a transphobe. She's fucking not.
Yeah.
From day one, even before Jenk.
Yeah. All we wanted it was integrated school, dumbass. Segregation at schools hasn't been allowed for decades.
Well, it wasn't allowed here in the UK, full stop.
Yeah.
We didn't have segregated schools in the UK. I don't know, unless you mean
we didn't.
No, I don't think we ever did.
I mean, I don't know. So, but we agree about.
The majority of our immigrants started coming over after the war. Before that, you only had small pockets here and there. There wasn't like huge communities. Like your lot didn't come over until the 70s.
Well, my parents came in the 60s, actually.
Oh, okay, well, fucking hell, they got here earlier. They couldn't wait.
It's amazing, yeah. My mum and dad, both from Tanzania, yet they met in England. Like they were like come together from Tanzania, and then like
that's
got married.
Mad, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, they met in England. They're both from Tanzania, and back then that's like a 1 in a million. You know what I mean? A couple of Asian people, but. How can we talk about the GC idiots did to Billy Bragg? Who the fuck is he? Sounds like a comic book character. Who the fuck is Billy Bragg?
I have no fucking idea, man. Seriously, just don't highlight his comments. I can't. Fucking hell. He thinks went to an integrated school, so therefore he can't swat racist dog whistling. Yeah, well, again, I can't keep going through this fucking loop every time, man. You know what I mean? Gary, you must understand you are on the spectrum, and so your outlook on social cues and understanding certain things is very limited. Okay, I know that sounds horrible, but that's the reality. All right, I'm not repeating myself here.
There's a guy on Facebook I know, like he posted a picture showing Roseanne Barr and Madonna, and he made the comment saying, who would ever thought that Roseanne Barr would look better than Madonna? Yeah. and I was just about to hit share, and then I remember the last time I took the piss out of Madonna, and I'd actually told the guy, look, I would love to share your post, but I got so much shit for my last piss take.
Oh, mate, you know what? There is a certain group of friends that we have on Facebook that they get so wound up in their own little bubble that they believe everything. Like the stuff that they're sharing now of the comedian Bobby Lee and his joke about banging a child in Mexico and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, pretty sure it's a fucking joke he said before in the past. Like he's a provocateur. This guy, he's not even a funny comedian at all. But they get so wrapped up in it that they can be as bad as right wingers. Where it's like, did you do your research? Did you look into it? Or are you just basing it off of one video on TikTok? Because it took me 5 minutes on Twitter and then 5 minutes on YouTube to see that he said that joke, and every time he's tweaked it differently. So it's just like, yeah, our side need to focus. That's what I said. Focus on the economics. Don't bother on the social stuff, because a lot of people on the left are socially fucking awkward anyway. So they
Yeah, but now and again,
bugger things up.
I don't even realize I'm going social. I'm doing social leftist shit in the first place. I'm just finding something funny that amuses me.
That's
It's
it.
not coming from a place. It's not coming from a place of hate, which is the difference between me and right wingers, because we could possibly both make similar jokes, but mine doesn't come from a place of hate. I can make fun of, I can make fun of a Greek person like yourself, but I don't mean I hate Greeks. Whilst other people might make fun of Greek people because they fucking hate Greeks. I mean, there is a difference.
Like,
You know what I mean?
When you're comfortable in your own world, and you're amongst the people that you have, because again, remember I was talking about earlier, people making assumptions on behalf of other people. And a lot of people, I find, especially white liberals, that they've grown up in bubbles where they don't even have ethnics. Okay. And they don't know what it's like. And they make this assumption that if I say something, then someone else is going to get offended. It's like, if you hang around with ethnic people, we're the most politically incorrect motherfuckers on the planet. Like, me and my black friends, the shit we would say, people on the left will have a fucking heart attack with each other. The things me and my Asian friends say, the things they say to me and my brother, because we're Greek.
The things we say to each other.
The things we fucking say to each other. People would have an absolute heart attack. And it's just like, but you're not in that world. Like, we grew up, like, when I say, if you come to my area, it will literally be spot the English person. Never used to be like that. But I actually like it more now that it's more diverse than I did when it was English people. Because with the English people, no offense to the English, I had to watch my back all the time. Constantly getting attacked in the fucking streets, yelled at, bullied, all this kind of shit. Just this pure place of hatred. Whereas the other side is always just nothing but love. But within that love, there comes banter, which is a cornerstone of Britishness. There is nothing better than banter. And and most of that banter is racist as shit, but all from a place of love. Isn't that right, Al Qaeda?
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you a joke that somebody told me. He goes, "What's brown with white spots?"
What?
Leicester. Yeah, I mean, he told me that joke. The one guy who told me that joke, I fucking laughed my ass off, man.
It's also demographically correct.
I remember, like, Paul Lynch said that after they were playing for England alongside Gaza, and he had a head injury, and then he put a white bandage around his head, and then Gascoigne said that you look like a pint of Guinness. You know what I mean? But that comes from a place of love.
Always from a place of love. That's it.
And that's what people need to realize when it comes to humor and stuff like that. Yeah. When is it hate? When is it love? And I know the difference. I can tell the fucking difference. You know what I mean? And especially when you're bantering amongst friends, it's always from a place of love. But you know the difference when it isn't. You know
the difference. Like we had a guy in my first year of uni. He just kept saying the N word. Like, but he was like, I'm only joking, N word. I'm only joking, N word. And my friend looked at him and it's just like, well, now you've got two choices. You either stop talking or you keep talking and I'm just going to punch you in the mouth. And what happened? Kept talking, got punched in the mouth. And then he got jumped. And he never said the N word again. Why? Because he wasn't coming from a banter place. It's like, first of all, you don't know anyone in this room. You literally don't know anyone from this room. You come from like the whitest part of England at the time, which was East Anglia, and it's just like you're coming bowling in.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Royal Palace. Sorry.
Yes, it was. It was actually Prince William that got his ass kicked.
I just want to. I want to respond to this. It isn't London now something like only 48% white English in the population demographic, but it's 48% white would still be the majority because there's other races that aren't white. So it's not like 48% white and then 48 and 52% black. It's 48% white. A certain percent of it is Asian. Certain percent of it is from the Far East. Certain percent of it is black. Certain percent of it maybe is Latin American as well. All of these different percentages. So 48% white would still be the majority.
Well, and also that 48% white isn't white English. You know, it's fucking Polish and
Yeah,
Irish,
yeah,
and
Eastern Europe,
English. You know,
and
there's
Eastern
Eastern
European. Like,
European contingents, and
American white guy is very
there's Americans who live in London, dude. I mean, but not all of them are white. But there are a
yes,
lot of Americans who live in London.
unfortunately,
Like, I have them. I have them in my fucking cab.
they
You know
all
what I mean?
live
It's
in
not a
West
week.
London, though,
Not
the posh part of West London.
yeah. You know, a lot of them live. They live in St John's Wood.
Yeah.
Because there's an American school in St John's Wood, and so
Oh,
it's
is
easy
there?
for their kid. Yeah, so it's easy.
Oh,
So
that's what the popping noises I heard when I drove past the other day. It was
what
gunshots.
Yeah, well, I mean, but this area, like, you know, a majority of them live there, but some of them live near that school, like Maida Vale, obviously Hampstead Highgate and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
but every week, guaranteed, I'm gonna have some motherfucker who's probably related to Bobby Black in my car. So,
yeah.
yeah, guaranteed.
So it goes Shredder's last comment here. My point is that London is basically the most diverse city in the UK. Yeah, I mean, in terms of
Oh,
varying demographics, yeah, absolutely. Like
yeah, for
like I
sure.
said, like my area. I mean, you know, when you look at people on Facebook that post like historical photos of my area, and I'm just talking the 1990s here, it was predominantly white. Now it's like a massive mixture of everything. And also what's happening is because of gentrification, so Enfield has been punished severely by having people that used to live in council houses been pushed into my area. And when I say punished, I mean it's caused a massive housing crisis here, because I work for a charity, and this is the kind of stuff we deal with all the time. And they basically push them out, and then fucking the white middle class people move into the gentrified areas, and those stupid hummus munching cunts just want to fucking put LTNs everywhere, and they hate cars with a passion, and then make our lives hell because they. And I'm like, you cunts force us out of our area because we can't afford the rent or a mortgage there, and then we have to drive back into that area because all the shops that we need are there, or the businesses we need are there, and we can't fucking drive there anymore. And I'm talking Haringey here. Haringey has gone to shit. It's the worst borough in the country to
I
fucking
thought it
drive
was.
through. I hate
I
it.
thought it was. I thought it was becoming quite an expensive area to live in.
It is. It's been gentrified. Like, it's been
Yeah.
gentrified massively. It's
With, you know,
fucking
Crouch End and
appalling.
stuff like that. Once it begins there, and then it crawls into like. But
Like,
you know what?
Haringey has
I ha-
always been ground zero for how to fuck drivers.
but I just wanted to go to the part of the multiculturalism which Shredder said. Like, I had a lady in my cab the other day, and she was from the Philippines, but she lives with her Scottish husband in Glasgow, and she was telling me that, you know, she loves being in London compared to Glasgow, because when she's in Glasgow, people look at her like they've never seen somebody from the Far East before. They actually stare at her. She tells me she's on public transport and people look at her, and that's the one good thing about London. You know, there's a lot of things I hate about my city, but the multiculturalism is the best thing. With you could be from fucking anywhere, genuinely anywhere in London, strongest accent, shit as fucking English, any race, any nationality, no one gives a flying fuck. You'll
No, you're
never, and that's the
completely
good thing.
anonymous in
Yeah,
London.
yeah, and you'll never stand out, which is the best thing about London. No one cares where you're from. Yeah, I mean, everyone is from everywhere in London, and you know, it makes you feel very comfortable in the city when you come here, because no one cares. You know,
No,
first
and like
world, second world, third world, it's
my
all here.
so my borough, which is Enfield, is mostly now Turkish, and couldn't ask for anything nicer because the fucking Turks are just honestly, they're like the loveliest bloody people you would ever know. Like, they can't do enough for you. Like, I won't have a bad. I mean, yes, you can question their kind of traditions and things like that, but as people in general, fuck me, they can't do enough for you. I get on more with them than I do with like Greeks and Cypriots. And before you ask, there's a big difference between Greeks and Cypriots. Big difference. Like the
I mean, I
Cypriot,
was seriously going to ask a ton of questions. I had like 15 questions lined up, but you just cleared it all up for me. Thanks.
I knew it. Yeah, see, and I will tell you now, I will educate you. So the Cypriots are more like the English in that they don't have this kind of family unity, and they're always fucking obsessed with money. And the Greeks are just whatever, man. You know, they just take everything in their stride. But you can't make fun of them. If you make fun of your friend who's a Greek, oh my god, that's it. The knives
No
are out.
Stavros jokes.
Yeah, I can't. I cannot get along with Greeks because I keep telling them in Greece, look, I grew up British. Banter is a thing. We take the piss out of each other. It's just what we do. But Greeks can't have that. They just see like you murdered their mother if you just insult them, or if you laugh at them for falling over. Oh fuck me, that's it. So it's like, whereas the Cypriots, although they're a bit like the English, they also have their sense of humor. So it's easier to get along with them in that way. Just don't have them as family, because with family, fuck me, the Cypriot side of my family, Jesus Christ.
Regarding this comment here, you know, the funny thing is when this lady mentioned how she gets stares when she's in Glasgow, I was kind of surprised. I was kind of surprised because I thought Glasgow was more multicultural. I assumed, you know.
Well, I thought there would be more Oriental people. I know that's a racist word for you, Cheetah, but here it's not.
It's here it's not.
Yeah, I thought there would be more Oriental people there in fucking Glasgow, but
cancel Greek.
Oh my god,
cancel Greek.
Yeah, but yeah.
That kind of surprised me. So yeah.
Can I just say also that I am a Rangers fan. Shredder.
You love the Power Rangers too?
Yeah, I love the Power Rangers, bro.
Which one's your favorite ethnicity color? I mean, come on.
The blue. Because he's a white gay guy, just like me. Oh,
I love living in Glasgow.
Wait a minute, was Billy wasn't gay, was he? Or did he?
The actor is gay.
Okay.
Glasgow Rangers, they're like fucking like gangsters. That football club for a start. I've seen them with their press.
But yeah. No, look, the reason I support Glasgow Rangers is because my family in Scotland is Shredder. You'll know these lot. It's the Stackis family, which were like the richest people in Scotland, and Evros.
They're rich. Zam hates him automatically.
Yeah, so you know the Stackis Christie. So his son was a big Rangers fan. He had a season ticket, but because he lived in London, he wouldn't make all the games. So when we used to go up there for Christmas, he'd give me the season ticket. So I'd go watch Rangers games in the box fucking seats, of course, and go watch the games where we would go up there for Christmas. And that's why I support Rangers. And I'm not going to fucking change that. I don't care if their fans are fucking assholes.
I don't support Rangers, but I've always liked Ali McCoist. Ali McCoist is such a lovely guy. You know what I mean, I've always got a soft spot for that guy. You know what I mean? So he just seems no scandal with the guy. Comes across as quite genuine, and I love him to take over Alan Brazil at fucking at TalkSport. Was fuck Alan Brazil, fuck him.
Oh yeah, fuck Alan Brazil. That particular club in Glasgow literally had their own fans throwing bananas at black. Yes, fucking like I said, the fans are a piece of shit, but. You know,
and they would know better, but they've had fucking black players, predominantly good black players, at their football club, and they still do shit like that. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, they were doing it to their own fucking players. So, which is literally his next comment, because the black players were on their fucking team. Listen, Chelsea fans have done it as well, to their own fucking players.
How the hell did Raheem Sterling end up joining fucking Chelsea? It made no sense. You're the Manchester City, and you got those Chelsea fans
calling him that here. You get kicked in the face.
Calling him the N-word, and he fucking ends up joining them.
Yeah. You know Listen, I got threatened by Celtic fans when I was a 10-year-old kid. So I know. That's why I have a lot of disdain for Celtic. Even though their supporters are actually really nice because they're always fucking on the side of Palestine and refugees and all of that. But still. Sorry, Zam, you were saying?
No, I'm done. I got no more topics. I'm topicked out. Anything from you, Cheetah?
Cheetah, got anything?
Not really. I mean, I haven't been following. I've had a busy week, so I haven't been following too much. I mean, not really the stuff except the stuff you guys have kind of been talking about. I mean, I can scroll through Nerd Nation, our Facebook. Wink, wink. Plug. Yeah. Let's talk about the epic disease that Ginger has. I mean, come on.
This cough that won't go away. I'm still waiting for my hospital appointment to get my lungs checked out. But I just need the weather to warm up. That's all. It's been really cold here. Yeah, I mean, I ain't got other topics. I covered my topics. The big ones. What's going on here? We're dancing.
I don't know what Zam's doing something backstage. I don't know fucking
No,
know.
you guys just disappeared off my screen, and then I'm trying to bring you back in.
No, you
and
disappeared. Me and Ginger were still here, and then
that's bizarre. Anyway, let me just.
now
change
you're
my
the
name.
power bottom.
Yeah, it's fine.
Nice.
Oh, need the
Yeah.
capital.
Again, I'm in no rush to jump off. So if we do find a subject to talk about,
Do
Shadow
you-
and Bone came back. By the way, I don't know if anyone watched the first series of Shadow and Bone. The only good
No.
YA adult adaptation, and yeah, it's really good. It came back. It hasn't been on TV since 2019, and so it's nice to see that back. Watch it if you've got Netflix. I don't.
I know,
so
like shows like
downloaded
Carnival Row came back after God knows how many seasons, whatever. I'm still trying to get Cheeto to fucking watch John Wick. You know what I mean? With John Wick 4 coming out, which I have seen and I liked, but yeah, it needs to be done.
I already told you how I'm gonna watch it. Live watch along on Patreon.
Yeah, will traumatize you when the puppy dies. Oh no! Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I mean, good thing you don't see it getting killed, but unfortunately, he does hold a dead puppy in his hand at one point.
They should have
Yeah.
shown him getting his head blown off. I would have laughed. Don't know why.
Yeah.
That's one thing, man. I don't mess around with animals in these things. Like, I even if it's CGI, even I don't know. I don't like. I almost cried in Ghost of Tsushima when you lost the horse. I mean, come on, like
Jesus.
It happened
really?
in Red Dead Redemption 2, but you have to. This is the crazy thing about John Wick, because prior to that film coming out, the first one that is, Keanu Reeves is going to get revenge for somebody who killed his dog. I mean, it just sounds absolutely absurd. You know what I mean? So fucking stupid.
That'd be
bargain
me.
bin.
Listen, you kill a human being, and I'm like, meh, we're humans, we deserve it. You kill a dog, and I'm like, motherfucker, get over here.
No. I totally agree, but the premises just sounded fucking stupid, regardless. And then I remember a mate of mine told me, "You gotta watch this film." I thought, what, John Wick, the guy who fucking getting revenge for the death of his dog? Are you serious? Yeah,
Don't say anything about John Wick 4, Gary.
I'm not. No,
I know you won't,
yeah.
but I'm telling Gary, do not fucking say, because I haven't watched it yet, and I'm gonna wait for a proper good copy to come out.
Well, the one I sent you is not that bad.
Yeah, I don't want to watch John Wick pirated. I want to watch it like clean digital version because it merits it. I'd go to the cinema, but I can't fucking afford the cinema. So yeah, I mean, like John Wick and Deadpool at the time helped kickstart a return to the glorious R-rated action films, which was missing for almost 20 fucking years.
That John Woo style of gun fu, which we haven't seen in years.
Yeah, we haven't seen since the 90s.
Like hard boiled and stuff like that. Oh god, Chow Yun Fat style. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I mean, the 2000 takes his mask off. It turns out, oh my god, it's Ed Sheeran.
Fool me once, Shredder. Shame on you.
The 2000s.
Shame on me.
I was just so full of like crappy PG-13 action. It's just like, no, we can't have blood. Why? Box office. Oh, for fucking bribe the FCC to change the rules then.
Well, unfortunately, once people like Stallone and Schwarzenegger were over the hill, the next generation and Bruce Willis as well. Once these guys got too old, the next generation of action stars were all like fucking PG-13, like fucking Mark Wahlberg and all this shit.
Yeah, just a bunch of soft cunts. Yeah.
And it just wasn't good. And I've always said I appreciate stuff that's not meant for younger audiences, because it's done in a way that that they can't see it, but we can still appreciate. And John Wick is definitely that, because have you seen the movie Nobody?
Yeah.
Where the guy who plays
with Odenkirk.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk. Yeah,
I didn't like it.
Fantastic. You didn't like it? I fucking loved it.
No.
And it had that John Wick. It had that John Wick. I'm still yet to see Atomic Blonde. I've heard that there's like a female John Wick with a long one take action scene, which is like 10 minutes long apparently. I mean, in Hard Boiled, there's a really amazing action scene in the hospital, which is a one take, and you can tell that if they fuck that one take up, they have to like like put new windows in, all this sort of stuff. And it's such a great one take, but they go into a lift, they come out the lift, and then they do more shooting and stuff, and people are. It feels like a fucking video game. You know, those one takes are what makes action scenes so great because you can't edit your way out of it. It's just beautiful.
Well, this is
and
what
John Wick's got plenty of that. Yeah.
This is what I fucking hate about like the MCU. It's just like, or action films in general. These days, like you have all these big fucking explosions and CGI shit. It's just like, why not cut that budget down and focus more on choreography to make these amazing one-take fight scenes? Like, I would have it in my contract where I say, under no circumstances do you get any shaky cam or quick cuts. And I want one fight scene in every film that lasts at least a minute long. Because that's the shit that people remember. Okay? People don't remember all the quick cut bollocks and the dizziness. Well, they remember it for the wrong reasons, in that they almost had a seizure watching it.
And I mean, I remember, I mean, I know you're going to disagree with me, but that's one of the things that I really loved about The Winter Soldier. Like, I mean, I know it did have some shaky cam in there. And
no, it was too shaky cam and quick cut for me.
I really enjoyed it because it really, and I mean, it was Chris Evans in there. Like, he was actually doing the scene. Like, you could tell it was him. It wasn't just a stunt double for most of it.
Yeah, but again, I don't
what
like
movies like The Raid. Oh my god, Raid 1 and 2. Like there's action personified.
Yeah, mate.
You know, and that's what I'm looking for now in my action movies. I'm looking, you know, and you're definitely gonna.
Right now.
Yeah, I mean, like just seeing Keanu Reeves as well. Like, and the guy's almost fucking 60 years old, and he's agile as fuck. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable how mobile he is for somebody of his age.
Charles Bronson. Go back and watch the Death Wish films, and the fucking stunts he was doing in that, and he was in his late 50s, 60s.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not.
But I mean,
my dad,
Keanu Reeves is taking it to another level. You know what I mean?
For sure. But like, you know, my dad was like in his 70s, and he was still flying up and down ladders and fucking doing shit that you just think, God, you're so old. But it's just like, you know, if you do it your whole life, it's second nature to you. And the only reason you slow down is your joints hurt a bit. That's it.
He's part of that generation. I mean, not everyone's going to be a Tom Cruise or a Jackie Chan, but he's still part of that generation of actors like Harrison Ford as well, who done a lot of their own sort of stunts if they could.
But Harrison Ford he's a fucking idiot because he's completely dyspraxic. He keeps breaking a leg every time he does a stunt.
Especially now that he's older. But you look at some of the early Indiana Jones movies and stuff like that. He's doing a lot of his own stunts. I mean, that he was the one being dragged on that rubbled ground, in Raiders of the Lost Ark when he's holding on to that fucking. He's got his thingy on that truck and stuff like that. So there's some. I love actors who are willing to do more of their own stunt work. I don't expect them to necessarily be like Tom Cruise or Jackie Chan, but I do like actors who do their own stunt work. And Keanu Reeves is definitely one of them. So he does a lot of his own stunts, which I very much appreciate. Yeah.
Right. So Gary, but Keane looks like he could pass for 35 easily, and Shredder's like Roy Keane could barely pass for 55, not 35, because it was meant to say Keanu could easily pass for 30. Keanu looks like he's in his late 40s, early 50s. He can't pass for in his 30s.
Yeah. For sure.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is 60. But I'm just saying, like, when Keanu Reeves, he shaved his beard off for Bill and Ted, I mean, he looked like Severus Snape, from fucking...
he did,
And the funny thing is, people used to make fun of Keanu Reeves because everyone always thought that he was playing Ted. Ted
in all his films.
In all his films, but now he feels like Keanu Reeves is trying to play Ted. It doesn't feel like it's the total opposite. Alex Winter was so good as Bill, but Keanu Reeves playing Ted, it just didn't feel natural anymore.
Yeah,
Only
of
when you're doing the
course.
makeup roles, then it felt a bit more authentic.
Yeah.
I'm very happy he did. I am very happy he did Bill and Ted 3. They needed to trilogize that shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but it was crap though. That's the
it
problem.
wasn't. Yeah. But I'm glad they
It was
made a
crap.
trilogy out of it, regardless. You know what I mean?
The first two
So-
were great. Fucking absolutely brilliant. Like quintessential 80s / early 90s
Yeah.
goodness. But yeah, I mean, Tom Cruise. My issue with Tom Cruise is that when it comes to the films like Mission Impossible, is the films just kind of lose their meaning because it's more like, hey, let's see what crazy stunt Tom Cruise is gonna do, and it's just like, I'm not interested in that. I don't like the Mission Impossible films at all.
Really?
Yeah, no, I
All
fucking
of
hate,
all
I
of
hate
them.
them. I hate them all. Yeah, I hate them all because they're Tom
Yeah.
Cruise centric, and I was a huge Mission Impossible fan, like the series, you know, the old Leonard Nimoy stuff and all that, going back to the
Oh
original.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it was about the team. It wasn't about fucking Ethan Hunt doing all these stupid stunts. It's like it's Mission Impossible, not Stunt Impossible.
Well, look, my thing with Tom Cruise is that when he came on the acting scene, he wasn't doing action films. Like even the first Top Gun wasn't really an action film because he's just sitting in the fucking cockpit. But when he did Mission Impossible, the first one, I mean that was like in the mid-90s after already having a 10-year career so far, mainstream, was not doing a single fucking action movie. He finally did one in Mission Impossible, and he did a lot of his stunts in that. And then all of a sudden, this guy just become a stuntman out of nowhere. Like it was just, what the hell? Nobody even knew that he had it in him, you know. And and so I can't help but, even, I do agree with you. It is Tom Cruise centric. You know what I mean? He feels like the Ronaldo of fucking movies. But nevertheless, I can't help but admire him being a stuntman as well as a phenomenal actor.
I mean, his stunts are fucking amazing, and he's a great actor. But it's the Mission Impossible films I don't like. Edge of Tomorrow, I fucking love that film. Have you seen
I
that?
like the premises. Yeah.
Live, Die,
Have you seen
Repeat.
Edge of Tomorrow?
It's
Me,
called
yeah,
Live-
yeah, I love Blake
Yeah.
Lively. No, not Blake Lively. What's her name?
Emily Blunt. Emily
Blunt.
Blunt.
Yeah, who is married to John Krasinski, and
Yeah.
everybody wants Emily Blunt and John Krasinski to be
happening.
Storm in the. Yeah, I know it's not. They're gonna. I honestly, at this point, with the way that they're going with Kang, I know you guys are talking about something completely different, but
No,
I mean,
doesn't matter. There's no subject.
I mean, but like, what? Not are you okay with, but like, what are your guys' thoughts on them? And I know they did this kind of in the Fan Four Stick movie a couple years back in 2015. God, has it been that long? But they're talking about race swapping Reed Richards, which, as I said, I don't have too much of a problem with, but because Jonathan Majors is playing Kang. He's a pretty black dude. Like, he's a very black dude. So it's like they're thinking like they're gonna race swap Reed Richards.
Look,
Who would you want to play him?
At this fucking point, it wouldn't surprise me if they race swapped everyone. Like, it just seems to be the common thing that they're doing.
They could do the Medea 4. They could just could be all played by one Tyler Perry's Fantastic Four.
I'm expecting Gene to fucking end up like black and Scott to end up black. Everyone's gonna be black. They can say, hey, just make it black. Do I care? On the first outing on Marvel, like I said, when it comes to the comic books, I like to stay for main characters, just stick to what they look like in the comic books as best you can. Once you've done a second, third interpretation, then fine. I don't really give a shit. But that's me personally. But with the Fantastic Four, I don't know. I don't really care that much about the Fantastic Four. And also, Thomas Jefferson banged loads of fucking people. So, he was white, and there's like loads of black people that are his ancestors. So it's not to say that, one of the richest doesn't get it on with other people.
And Shredder, I agree. Michael Clark Duncan is the Kingpin.
I agree with Shredder as well. I agree with Shredder.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not that I have a problem with them race swapping. I'm just like, how do we feel
Michael
about
B. Jordan played the Johnny Storm, remember, in that shitty version? So
yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
That was fucking stupid. That was. I mean, you might as well make Sue Storm black as well if you're gonna do that.
Oh no, Sue
Yeah.
Storm was adopted because
Yeah, she was adopted. Yeah.
No, I
Fucking,
thought
that
he
said
was
about that
adopted,
film.
wasn't it?
no, because
Yeah,
the dad was black.
Oh, was he? Oh, I never seen the movie.
Yeah, the
but
dad
I
was
never-
black, and Michael B. Jordan played Human Torch, and then apparently Sue Storm, which I don't remember the actress's name, she was on House of Cards, and she was technically adopted. That's because it was like, how is Sue white and Johnny's black?
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
No shit, Sherlock. I mean, even if they didn't say it, you'd have to assume something. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, look, I have no problem with that, but the film was just shit regardless.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And
The film was shit.
it wasn't the race swapping that made it shit, but
No.
Michael B. Jordan is a phenomenal actor. It was just a shit film, shit script, and it had a decent cast in it, but they weren't going to bail that movie out, unfortunately.
No.
He's saying that now I'm gonna have to look it up because maybe I'm remembering wrong. I know it's Gary, but Sue Storm was
Kate Mara. Well, she's fucking. She's not young, by the way. Like they should have got somebody a lot younger to play Sue Storm.
Well, she was young at the time. She was in her 20s.
Kate Mara's been she's been around like since like the early 2000s, dude.
Kate
I
Mara.
swear. Yeah, I think
she was young in House of Cards, and that was back in
Yeah,
the
man.
I swear she was.
Oh my
I
god.
swear
Yeah,
she
well,
was
she's fucking hell. She's 40 years old. Yeah, you're not wrong.
yeah. I swear, but I was telling her like I was like she was in that film Shooter with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
And I was,
that's right.
and I was, yeah, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, she's 40.
Zam, quit being right, goddammit.
Yes,
I
damn it.
can't help it.
Fake news. Zam is
You guys stay
spreading
white,
fake
I'll stay right.
news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I always bring him up. Michael Clark Duncan was awesome as Kingpin. I mean, yeah, the film
Yeah.
sucked, but yeah, he was good as Kingpin.
Yeah. No,
But look, making the black guy the bad guy is fine with me. I'm happy with that because that's just
Doesn't
how it
make
is in
Kang.
real life. Now, again, look, I said I'm always a stickler for keeping things how they are in the comic. First, second interpretation. After that, do we like it? But if they hire a good fucking actor, it's just like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. It's a good casting choice. Just like with Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors and people like Giancarlo Esposito. I mean, Giancarlo Esposito is unique in that he can play both Professor X and Magneto. Not at the same time, but he can play either character. So
I think he's worthy of. I think he's worthy of a face change, and a face run, and make him play a good guy. I think he deserves it.
Either way, I don't, and it's more apt if a black guy plays either Professor X or Magneto because they were based on Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
That's the race swap I want. I want Professor X and Magneto to be race swapped. That's a fantastic idea.
We've had 2 Professor X's now.
Yeah.
You know,
well, we've also had 2 Mr. Fantastics, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying what is there an issue with it. I'm just saying now that they've kind of had Jonathan Majors as like a dark black man, it's like, do you think they're going to race swap Reed Richards? You know, is that what they're hinting at here?
I mean, if you want me to be perfectly honest, I don't think they would do it because look, the MCU at the moment is having such a major shakeup with everything because nothing is just fucking making money anymore and people aren't watching the shows like they were. So don't expect it. And maybe if they do, it might be The Thing.
Yeah.
You know,
once
like
again, these things shouldn't be made a big deal. Like it's only been made. These sort of issues only been made a big deal in the last 5 years or so because Nick Fury was originally a white character, and no one gave a fuck. No one gave a flying fuck.
That's because in the Ultimate comics, which was a new universe that was deliberately created to base films off of, because Marvel wanted to go into the films then, so they created the Ultimate Universe because they even in the comic books, Nick Fury looks exactly like Samuel Jackson. They got his express permission to make the character look like him because they said,
I do know about that.
Okay, so that's why they made the changes back then. Now you do it, you can't fucking do it anymore. People go crazy, but it is a different obviously the atmosphere now is different. But when you're doing it too much, it gets a bit fucking tiresome. You know, it gets really fucking tiresome.
But for instance, like why not, for argument's sake, with Batman? Like we've had a billion Batmans, billions. You know, why not this time we have a black Batman? You know, we'll
How
be
many
wrong with
black
that.
billionaires do you know, mate?
Well, you know, okay, maybe how about a Saudi black,
No,
a
look,
Saudi
you could
Batman?
easily do a black Batman, but you could do him as like, you know, Lucius Fox's fucking son, who's been Batman in the comic books.
Yeah, and he
Yeah,
was
a Saudi Batman makes fucking sense. An Asian Batman makes sense. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, Thomas Wayne was a doctor. You know, like he was
Yeah,
a
exactly.
surgeon. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
time for Sam to take his meds.
I forgot that one.
Yeah,
I
but yeah, you could easily
yeah.
make like that's what I mean. And it always has. Why does it always have to be black? There's other fucking. You can make everyone Indian, and it'll make just as much sense. It's like, you know, and more fun because it's something new as well. Or like what was it? Yeah, I forget. I'm just joking, by the way. I'm just like busting people's balls here. Breaking: Elon Musk casts as Batman by social media sites. Repeat. Oh my god.
Oh god.
God, what? You know what? We should have Shredder just do like Nerdtube shorts and just do like all of these breaking news things just like randomly on our channel. Just like breaking news: Elon Musk casts as Batman by social media and calls Riddler a pedo. That is all.
Yeah,
Have a good day.
Perfect. You'd make us millions.
I know, right? Like all of a sudden, like we'd have this huge boom, and it's like it's all because of Shredder.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing for April Fools? Anything fun? Zam, are you going to try to make us all think you're converting again?
I always do that every year. I always tell people that I'm converting back to Islam. You know, it's always become a fucking tradition. And yeah, right now it is Ramadan right now, and yeah. Prior to this, by the way, I would go on TikTok and you know take the piss a little bit, you know, here and there, you know, like. But unfortunately, TikTok's been a bit quiet with Muslims now because it is Ramadan. You know what I mean? So,
so they're not allowed on it until midnight.
I don't know. I mean, I have been arguing with one particular group of Muslims on Twitter regarding Andrew Tate because they're all going, oh, you know, because Andrew Tate's converted to Islam, they're all praying for him, going, you know, we need to pray to Allah and stuff like that. And I'm saying, you know what? He's been in jail for, you know, for the entirety of 2023. His stay keeps getting extended. It's quite obvious, don't you realize? Allah wants him to stay in prison. So stop praying to Allah to get him out. Allah wants him to stay. Allah wants him to suffer. So, you know, and then obviously I'm coming across Muslims who tell me, you know, Allah doesn't want him to do this. You know, he's just testing him and stuff like that. And then there's obviously the conflict of interest because then it's just people interpreting what they believe Allah is doing, which is why the religion of Islam is a lot and the pile of fucking bullshit because it boils down to interpretation when it comes to these particular issues, you know. So
of course they're always gonna fucking twist it in a way that fits their narrative. Marx will be denouncing Star Trek and confessing that Babylon 5. I mean, it is a superior sci-fi. Babylon 5 is fucking god.
Oh yeah, by the way, you guys, I think is it next week? Next Sunday. Next Sunday, you guys will have to do a reaction to the greatest show on earth, WrestleMania.
Is that next Sunday?
Oh, I'll have to. WrestleMania 39, man. Jesus Christ!
See, because
I'll be back. I'll be back when it's WrestleMania 69.
Oh,
yeah, I'll
God,
see. I'm not hyped. It's over 2 days. Like, why are you still doing that?
Blame COVID.
But can we just say the fact that D Jose was right about, and maybe it was you, Ginger. I don't remember. Somebody was saying that they were going to do the Zayn and what's his nuts? Who's Kevin Owens tag run against the Usos. They're fucking doing it. I saw.
Yeah, me and Jose said it.
Yeah. Like I was like, when I saw that, I was like, oh my, like they're so fucking right. Like
they fucked it up. That's why I have no interest in seeing WrestleMania. Like I don't care. Like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn being friends again means nothing to me because 5 minutes later they're gonna turn on each other. You know,
Mhm.
if you want to make it interesting, then you have Sami Zayn turn on Kevin Owens during the match, and then rejoin the bloodline, and then we have rinse repeat bollocks again. But honestly, I just don't give a shit.
No, it needs to be a triple threat between Cody between Cody, Reigns, and Zayn, and then both titles need to be on the line. First pinfall, you get the Universal title, and that person's done. Like they get that title, they walk out, and then it's down to 1-on-1 for the WWE title. It needs to come down to Zayn versus Roman for the WWE title, and Zayn needs to go over. Boom.
Yeah,
there's your WrestleMania main
event. Going to
event.
give him a fucking tag title instead.
Exactly. This is the
You could
fucking
tell-
shit I stopped watching WWE for.
Yeah, you could tell
It's
Vince is
less-
back in creative, and Triple H just hasn't got it. We thought he might, but he hasn't got it. He's lost it. So yeah,
Vince hasn't got it either. I mean, no, I mean, who
yeah,
has?
Vince
I mean,
lost it. Vince never had it. He never fucking had it.
Vince stumbled into the Attitude Era.
He stumbled into it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah, he
'Cause
copies other people.
well, he stumbled into it because it's the one thing that Vince Russo fucking got right. But even a broken clock is right once. Yeah, and even Vince has just milked that garbage since and hasn't changed his style. Everything was the right. You had the right characters there to do it, to execute it.
And yes, Shredder, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Like the IC title and the European title at WrestleMania 16, which was a great match, by the way, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember. And I love how he says redacted. Like we say Benoit on this program. Like we're allowed to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But yeah, that's why I'm not interested in WrestleMania when like
I don't care if it's not Zayn versus Roman Reigns. I don't give a shit.
that's the only reason why I tuned into the Elimination Chamber. I was
Yeah.
in for the Rumble because the Rumble's always fun, and there were some great match. Like both the Rumbles, in my opinion, were pretty good. And the women's one was fantastic.
The women's one was fucking excellent,
And it's
the
like,
men's one. I think it was good.
But
can't
everything
remember.
going on, like during the Royal Rumble with Sami Zayn, made me come back for Elimination Chamber. It is the first time I have watched a non-state, like a non-Royal Rumble or WrestleMania in over a decade.
Yeah. And then they fucked it up, and
now I don't
give a
even
shit
care.
about Mania.
And what annoys me the most is that they finally elevated a guy into superstardom status in Sami Zayn. This guy was a fucking jobber for most of his career, and now he's become like the bee's knees. And you don't take advantage of that. You should have put him in the Rumble, made him win the fucking Rumble. All of these fucking things. Fuck Cody Rhodes. Give him his opportunity next year. Like this is iron white hot fucking fire here, and you've extinguished it. In my
But here's the thing: the WWE didn't elevate him. I think the fans elevated him, didn't they? Like it wasn't even it wasn't.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a bit of semantics here. I agree. The fans, but it's still also Sami Zayn used his own abilities and charisma to get himself where he is as well, to get himself over with the fans. But the point is that as creative, you don't just necessarily go with what you initially planned out. You've got to see the writing on the wall here that Sami Zayn is fucking smoking. Come here, darling.
I mean, right now your birds are pretty much smoking. I mean,
Yeah,
what are they?
adrenaline in my soul. Something.
I don't know. I just don't get it with Brutus. He treats Juicy like shit. He's always being an arsehole to her, and she doesn't deserve it. And I don't know what to do. I mean, they can share a cage with each other, no problem. But outside the cage, he's a fucking arsehole.
Get rid of Brutus.
Yeah.
No, man.
Get rid of Brutus. It's as simple as that.
Oh, man.
Just open the window one day and just let Brutus fly.
Yeah, just let Brutus go out.
I'm not doing that.
He'll come back and be like, "Hey, where's my kebab at? Where?" He's gonna be out sitting on the power line outside your window, going, "Where's my kebab?"
You hope Reigns goes over at Mania. Oh, me too. Just because it's just gonna be like, oh fuck it, it's just never ending.
It doesn't matter.
It just doesn't end.
Point.
Do you think Cody's gonna beat him?
Imperium versus Bloodline. Good lord.
I feel like almost in a way that they've elevated Reigns in such a way that if he doesn't have the belts, then he's almost naked without them. Like he's almost like he can't portray his
Look,
superiority without them.
Cody's gonna win at Mania as a big fuck you to AEW, where in reality nobody gives a shit. You know, and it's stuff. Look, Rhodes is just a cringe cunt. He's a phenomenal wrestler, absolutely phenomenal wrestler. Like him and Gunther in the Royal Rumble was what made that Rumble match spectacular.
One
Like,
versus 30.
You know, it was amazing. But he's just, I just, I can't forgive him for the crap that he did while he was at AEW. I just can't. Because if he was given an inch in WWE, he'd be right back to that crap, saying that he's ended racism because he's had a mixed race baby and all this kind of stupid shit. Yeah, he said that shit. He said that
he's
shit.
Mixed race himself, he's half Latino.
And I got a black friend. I ended racism.
He says he says his mom's Cuban.
Yeah, we got a reformed terrorist underneath us. We're not racists.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Gunther versus Reigns at SummerSlam, title versus title. I mean, I wouldn't be against that.
No, I mean, dude, Gunther deserves a title shot more than Cody Rhodes does. Gunther was the MVP of that men's Rumble because, like, he wasn't even like Rey Mysterio. Because, like, after a while, Rey Mysterio like was just holding on to turnbuckles for the whole night in his Rumble.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Gunther was like he was in there the entire time. I saw him the entire time. I'm like, who is this skinny Vladimir Kozlov?
It was his Rumble. Him and Rhodes made that Rumble. And like Gunther is so good that he made Sheamus relevant. Sheamus is fucking Triple H levels of boring when it comes to wrestling. But him and Gunther have fucking great chemistry. And you're happy to kind of watch them fight all the time. So, yeah. Cody is bad when he's off the leash. Reason why Brandy isn't anywhere to be seen. Well, yeah, exactly, Gary. Off the leash, he's just shockingly cringe.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. I don't watch these wrestlers for their point of views. I watch it for their gymnastics.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see your athletic prowess. I don't even give a shit about promos that much, to be honest. If you're good at it, then I want to watch you for your promos and your wrestling. But if you're not, then like Shelton Benjamin, I'll just watch you for your wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like Johnny Morrison, I'll just watch you for your wrestling.
I do like a good classic promo. Like one of my favorite ones is when Hogan and Rock team up with Kane, and then Kane does the he basically
what you gonna do, brother?
Yeah. He does Rock's catchphrases and then Hulk Hogan's catchphrases and does the poses and stuff like that. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant to outshine Hogan and Rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing.
As like, Kane,
Glenn Jacobs, which is shocking that he's just another fucking moronic Republican. He's so clever. Like he breezed through the weakest link when he was on it. Like the man's a fucking literal genius, and it's shocking that he's a fucking Republican because he is smart. I thought he might be a bit more enlightened, but unfortunately not.
JBL, a Republican.
Yeah, the majority of them are. Yeah, the majority of them are. There's only a handful of people that vote Democrat or even left wing.
Wait, hold on. Before you go on to that one, no, stop, Sam, stop. Okay, so Sheamus must have talent. The guy's in WWE for over a decade. That does not mean you're talented to be in the WWE for over a decade.
Jinder Mahal's been for over a decade.
Huh?
Jinder Mahal's been there for over a decade. He has no talent.
Yeah, like Randy Orton's been there forever. Yeah. Like Randy Orton, although when he was younger, he was talented, like and more engaging, like during his Legend Killer gimmick. For the past decade, he's been boring as fuck. Like. I have not seen he gets like a Stone Cold Steve Austin vest, and now he's something different. Like Orton is the exact same when I came back as when I left.
Yeah, he's in there for a paycheck, and he just go through the motions. But the best thing to happen to him was what's his face, that MMA guy.
Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle was the best thing to happen to me. He even admitted, Matt Riddle kind of rejuvenated his career. He even admitted that in the interview.
Well, shredded right there. WWE frequently hired the Harris twins who had no fucking talent. I couldn't agree more. But like Randy Orton
Harris
is like
twins?
the four horsemen of fucking boring wrestlers, which was Alberto Del Rio, Triple H, Sheamus, and fucking Randy Orton. And anytime they wrestled, I was just like, nope, click away.
No, but the problem with Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus is that they elevated them too soon. I thought Alberto Del Rio was great when he first came in, but they made him win the Royal Rumble and all of that sort of shit. Sheamus as well. He became WWE champion way too soon. I think that was an accident in that tables match, but regardless, he got the belt. And and you have to earn your stripes in the WWE, which is why people like Kofi Kingston was appreciated. People like Daniel Bryan was appreciated. People like Sami Zayn now is being appreciated because they've earned their stripes. They paid their dues, and now people want to see them elevated to the top.
Gunner must be upset.
Yeah, I agree, but regardless, they're both fucking boring wrestlers. Like I just had no interest in seeing them. The only reason I liked watching Alberto Del Rio was when what's his name fucking came on and introduced him, Eddie Munster,
Ricardo Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's the one, Ricardo Rodriguez.
Eddie Munster. Yeah, he would wrestle now and again.
Nope, we lost Sam. They chewed through his cables. But yeah, he was a good wrestler. He was a luchador.
Who was?
Oh fuck!
What?
Now what's happened? God damn!
Fuck, Zam! Stop it!
I'm not doing it. It was a fucking dog. We become Dallas all of a sudden.
No, we were still here, and then you disappeared.
I don't know why. It's this Melon app, and all of that.
It has a seizure every time and just drops out.
God damn it!
So that's how
the thing is, you have to be a good worker for WWE to keep you on the roster. You could no. You don't have to be good. You just got to kiss ass. You just got to kiss ass.
And take and
the bare minimum.
What Vince says. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. What's the fucking guy who was married to that fucking singer birds? Black lawyer guy.
Oh,
David Otunga.
Yeah,
that's it. Otunga. No talent.
He was in She-Hulk.
Fucking baby shit. He
was in She-Hulk as well.
Listen, I always in WWE 13, I always put him with Chris. I made a creator wrestler as Chris Masters, and I put them in a tag team and called a Masters degree.
That's a great fucking name. That's a great name. Tunga. Yeah, we got it. Thanks.
I'll get your friends.
I know Gunner, man. Gunner's gunning for us. He's like, hey, Dad, you're that's not Gunner.
That's Brutus. Because he's being such a horrible arsehole to Juicy, I've kept him in the cage. Everyone else is out the cage. He's in the cage.
Yeah, that was
and now he wants to get out. But if
it did have a very sexual TLC commercial. You guys remember that commercial?
No.
I'll show it to you after. We can't do it on here.
I remember him. But he'd walk around with his fucking coffee cup like a dickhead. You know what I mean?
I actually did. I actually did I think I didn't do a parody. I think I just put the actual thing on Unsquared Circle back in the day. But yeah, it was like the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Very sexual though. Very sexual.
Beefcake was only employed because he was Hogan's friend.
Yeah. That's what the Nasty Boys. I mean, they followed him.
And with the Nasty Boys.
God, yeah, but at least the Nasty Boys showed. Oh my god!
But they gave me one of my most beloved matches, which was the first ever no DQ match that I remember against the Legion of Doom or Road Warriors, and absolutely fucking loved that match. It was pure chaos. I'd never seen a no DQ match up to that point. I don't think.
It was only one of the Nasty Boys that was good friends with Hogan, wasn't it? Is that Brian?
Yeah, Knobs.
He was good friends with Hogan. I'm not sure about Sags. Yeah. But I remember he was with Hogan Knows Best.
That's right.
He fucking slept in his fucking bed and shit, man. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, fucking. Yeah, there's loads of like no talent fucks that are just hanging around.
Yeah, a bit like us at this moment. I'm gonna shoot off.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it to an end now. 2 hours 48.
Yeah, bring it to an end. Yeah.
things have slowed
My
down. It was a
fucking
slow
birds, I need
news
to-
week as well. There wasn't really a lot to talk about this week.
Well, I
had
thought the
to
indictment
dig
was
a
a
lot.
big deal. You know
Huh?
what I mean? I
There's
thought
one
the
or two
indictment was
subjects that were a big
yeah.
deal, but the rest of it I just kind of grabbed for filler.
Oh, I heard Deutsche Bank has fucking collapsed. You know what I mean?
I'm not fucking surprised. Bloody mafias that they destroyed Greece. Fucking assholes. I'm
You know, all
happy to
these
see them
fucking banks
collapse.
are fucking, like you know, like going bankrupt. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I told. Listen, I told Fratis. I said, they're fucking. It's a gangsters' bank. Like they launder gangsters' money and they bullied Greece. When Greece had a left-wing government, they fucking bullied Greece and say, "No, you're staying in austerity, and if you want to come out of it, we're just going to make things even fucking worse for you." And that government ended up collapsing, unfortunately, because they were just bullied by the banks. And so I will rejoice, even though my friend's about to lose his job. I'm still going to rejoice.
I pick up a
Deutsche
lot of
Bank have gone
bankers.
down. Huh?
I used to pick up a lot when I did a night shift. You know, I'll be going to Deutsche Bank in London and picking people up. I'll be working till 1, 2 in the morning. And I have to admit, I do pick up a lot of bankers, but the Deutsche Bank bankers were the biggest fucking wankers.
Yeah, they're all cunts, man. My friend, I told you, I've got friends. All my friends, they're all higher ups in the banking industry. My brother as well, and I mean they're nice people. Don't get me, my friends are lovely, but yeah, they tell me some absolute horror stories.
I mean, they have to be lovely to put up with you. So I mean,
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
What Shrey
Oh,
said,
it's
you could
right.
have spoken about how women and minorities ruined everything in Nerdtube. I'll do that next week. Yeah, next week we'll start off just calling women slags. And on that bombshell, we're going to end it here. Thank you, everyone, for commenting. And thank you to Vance, who joined us earlier, and to Block, who popped in as well. And what?
I'll give you that one next week.
Yeah.
I have to think about
all
it.
will be revealed next week, so we can have something to talk about next week. And that is all. Let normality resume. I'm going to wave goodbye now, so you can turn this fucking thing off.